Good evening, Grinders. Welcome to the NFL Pre-Lock Show here on RotoGrinders. I'm Jordan Cooper, a.k.a. BlenderEd, Blender HD, if you want to follow me there on Twitter. Joined by Will Priester, Chief Justice 06. We're going to talk about the Vikings at the Bears. The current total is 46.5. The Vikings are a 7-point road favorite. Hopefully this game will be better than the Browns-Raiders game that's going on right now. I did not play that showdown. I didn't play the 2-game slate, but it seems like it's a very low scoring game. Yesterday, 9-0 for the Saints and the Bucks game. So maybe Vikings Bears could maybe work out, but I don't have any hopes. It's the NFL product is very good. The only piece of news from the inactives, Adam Thielen is inactive. He will not play today. Everything else seems as expected. Everyone that should be active is active. Everyone that should be playing is playing. Will, am I going to be contrarian by playing this as if the Bears win the game?
You absolutely will be contrarian. I can tell you that. I'm assuming most people are siding with the Vikings. So many weird things have happened. And this is just a discussion with one of my local buddies here that doesn't play any DFS, doesn't know what DFS is, probably doesn't even know what fantasy sports is. He's a Cowboys fan, and he was saying, "Hey, man, we beat who they beat yesterday? The Giants. Yeah, we beat those Giants." I said, look, man, so many weird things are happening in the NFL. It's pretty much any given Sunday, every Sunday this year. And that's how I feel about this Vikings-Bears matchup from a DFS perspective, along with a real-life perspective. If you build this thing tonight like the Bears are going to win, you're already contrarian.
I'm showing scoresandodds.com, obviously our sister site. Go there to get a whole look of all the betting props, all the line movements, everything from across the books. And if you're going to bet, do it on BetMGM. Make your first deposit there. Okay? Use the promo code GRINDERSBET. That's all one word, GRINDERSBET. You make a deposit. You bet $10. Your team scores a touchdown, 200 smackaroos right in your pocket. So go to BetMGM. Use the promo code. GRINDERSBET. But on this slate, the rushing yard prop for Dalvin Cook, 95.5. The receiving prop on Justin Jefferson, 105.5, which I rarely ever see 100-yard props. So the price outside of Cook and Jefferson and the quarterbacks, the pricing is fairly soft as far as the ability to make lineups. Would you consider me crazy, Will? Okay. Would you consider me crazy? Maybe people in the chat will find me crazy. If you're watching this on YouTube, you don't know where we're chatting because the YouTube is disabled. Go to our Discord. Go to RotoGrinders Discord. Just join the Discord, rotogrinders.com/Discord, and go into our free live stream chat channel. So just click on the little Discord button on our website or go to rotogrinders.com/Discord, go into the live stream chat. And you can post whatever you want. The people are already in there. Would you call me crazy? I'm playing 26 lineups today. Okay. Call me crazy if I have some lineups that don't have either Dalvin Cook or Justin Jefferson in it.
I don't think I would.
So you think I'm crazy?
No, I'm not going to call you crazy. Is what I'm saying.
Right. As far as a unique perspective, the two highest owned players by far on this slate will be Cook and Jefferson. And the Minnesota Vikings attack is so condensed that, like, in all intents and purposes, I would expect both of them to be in the optimal lineup. But that optimal lineup may be duped a million ways or whatever. I mean, obviously we got some cheap guys that you could scatter around. But I think the easiest way to be different is to not have one of them in your lineup, and to be very different, not have either of them in your line at captain or at flex. And then even if you do that, you're probably going to still have to leave $4,000 on the table because we don't have that many people to pay up for. I'm leaning more towards guys like Montgomery, Mooney. Like I'm hoping, Will, that the Vikings maybe only scored 2 touchdowns and Cook gets a touchdown and Jefferson gets a touchdown, but neither of them hit the bonus. So like I'm able to like they don't have bad games, but they don't have games where they end up in the optimal. So like I'm kind of building for that scenario because it's just so, I mean, they project so much higher than everyone else on the slate that it's hard for me to see a situation that one of them isn't even in the optimal lineup. But of course, to get even more unique. So like I am playing both of them, just that I do have some lineups that have neither of them in it. And I'm playing more of the Bears in the captain spot. Is that the direction that you're going in, or are you looking to favor one of Cook or Jefferson over each other?
Yeah, I think for me, and so the question you asked was, do I think we're crazy? The answer was no, because listen, we've seen some weird things happen. If you played, let's say if you played a Saints showdown last night and you just happen to say, I'm going to fade Mike Evans and Godwin in a couple. Well, guess what? You were probably in line to win. And so I think for that reason alone, weird things happen in all these games. Dalvin Cook could be bottled up tonight. And like
he get injured, right? He's in a separated shoulder. Who knows? Maybe he gets injured. And next thing you know, Wayne Gallman is taking all the snaps.
Okay. Now, and so let's give an example of that, because if I'm not mistaken, Jordan, on Thursday's showdown slate, and I didn't get it right. I didn't get it completely right, but I talked about having both the starter, which was Eckler, and the backup, which was Justin Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, because Eckler was a little banged up. And if you looked at the end of that showdown, you saw Mr. Jackson became a very valuable asset at the end of the day. And of course, the backup to Dalvin Cook is out for COVID. So we kind of don't have that luxury, which is why I think, Dalvin continues to be probably one of the premier plays just in terms of volume. But I do love David Montgomery tonight for what it's worth at 9K. The blitz really likes him as well in terms of rushing yards. Now, he's not anywhere near Cook in terms of projected rushing yards. We've got Cook at projected for 110 and David Montgomery projected for 81, and that's in the blitz. But the price differential is humongous. So I'm really in love with Mr. Montgomery tonight for sure.
And he can catch balls out of the backfield. We're not talking about David Montgomery, just the yardage and touchdowns. It's, he can catch 5 balls out of the backfield. It's not like this Bears receiving core is good or anything.
Yeah, and they need safer throws.
Right. But also we have to understand the fact that the Vikings secondary, especially in the flat, is awful. Is absolutely and unequivocally awful. So short passing, I have no problem. I mean, like it's weird for me to say, but the captains that I'm playing, I got a Demir Bird captain lineup. I got a Cole Kmet captain lineup. I got Montgomery. I mean, I still have a Cook and a Jefferson captain also. I mean, I'm not crazy, but I'm looking to play more of these subsidiary players. The only guy that could possibly burn me is Jimmy Graham. I have 0 of him. And of course, it's a tight end in showdown. Maybe they'll mention when he gets the touchdown. I'll know I'm screwed when they mention that he's a former basketball player, because apparently that's the only thing they ever mention on the broadcast.
Yeah.
But I'm playing a lot of the cheaper guys like Chris Herndon or Smith Marset, Kenny Nwangwu, like those types of guys, especially not playing Cook or Jefferson. Because in the lineup without Cook, like, okay, how does Cook not get there? Well, Jefferson goes off for a bunch, or other guys get receiving touchdowns, or another running back, a change of pace comes in and they get the touchdown. And then if Jefferson doesn't get there, well, where does all the receiving yardage go? Right? I mean, so it has to go somewhere. So I think there are ways to uniquely build lineups that fade either Cook or Jefferson. But truthfully, there are ways to make lineups that you play both of them in it. It's just that you have to rely on Rodney Adams and Daz Newsome or Nasimba Webster, Jesper Horsted. I mean, like we're talking about guys that may not even see any snaps.
Good luck.
And I'm deciding to go the path of least resistance, which is hopefully one, if not both, of Cook and Jefferson, snowflake. Like they don't live up to their 11-2 and 11-8 salaries.
Right. And I mean, that's not like, so if you ask me today, did I think it was optimal? I'd probably say no. Like, I think in my book, like you just fade. So for me tonight, Blendon, I'll say this. What I'm doing is I'm just fading Kirk Cousins altogether. Like, I'm not playing him at all. I don't care if I'm playing 150, 10, 50. He gets the X button. And I would load up on Dalvin and JJ and then get really creative, because for me, I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to have a good game tonight. That's me, right? I'm trying to, semi-predict an outcome. Also, like I said, because I like David Montgomery, I can almost assure you I'm going to have 2 running backs in my build today. Like I can almost guarantee that. So
2 running backs from the same team, or 2 running backs?
No.
Plus Montgomery.
Yeah. I'll have Cook and Montgomery probably in everything.
Yeah,
at least at a minimum, both of them are going to be in the flex.
Okay, but I think that's going to be popular, which is fine.
Right.
But like I said, I play very high variance strategies, and like I aim for first place solo as close as that I could get. And if I don't get there, then they just move on to the next slate. So like,
don't worry. I'm going to have, a guy or maybe someone that I think is interesting enough for us to pluck through.
Are they the kickers?
No, because I think the kickers are going to be popular tonight. And then let me check the ownership.
Well, I think the kickers may be a little bit popular because like the players in that range are not very enticing, like Damian Williams, Khalil Herbert, the Bears defense, Jimmy Graham, like Demir Bird, Cole Kmet. I mean, like it's really hard to fit in like Cook, Jefferson, and Montgomery or something like that without using at least one of the kickers.
Yeah, and so the thing is, we've got them projected at 17 and 16, which is higher than normal because usually, we're in the 10 to 12 range on the kickers. historically, if I'm not mistaken.
So, I can see Greg Joseph getting up to like 20-25 with how much lack of value there is on the bottom.
Even Santos, like, I know I joke about double kicker a lot. I might do it tonight, Blender. I legitimately might have double kicker today. I'm still exploring that. I know that's not something you like. I know you think that's probably the low end, but all the production's coming from mostly 5 spots in this slate, mostly. So I'm saying Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson are probably going to have if everything went according to plan, most of this production. And then from the Bears, I would say the top 2 would be Justin Fields and David Montgomery. And then we're just kind of saying, okay, who else is out there that's going to score points? Is it Cole Kmet? Is it Jimmy Graham? Is it, who's going to get in the mix in the Minnesota backfield? Is it Wayne Gallman? I don't know. Like, you get what I'm saying? Wayne Gallman might be on my list, by the way. But, my point is double kicker, I think, might be valuable tonight on this slate. It might be really valuable.
The defenses might be valuable.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Do we think defenses carry the ownership today? We've got them at 19% and 12%.
I think the Vikings defense will be in that 20 to 25% range.
And Kirk Cousins is a turnover waiting to happen sometimes. This year, he has cut them down some this year. But listen.
Doesn't he do horrible on Monday night? Isn't that a whole thing with Kirk Cousins that he does horrible on Monday night?
They say prime time. Don't play Kirk Cousins in prime time.
Right. So maybe that's that. Making 4-2 type of Bears type lineups kind of goes, Cousins throws 3 picks or something, right? They can't get the running game going. They're down by 2 touchdowns. You never know. I mean, I just know that Cook and Jefferson's owner. I mean, we have them both at 53 and 51 in the flex, and we have Cook at 17 and 19. Like, if you add that up, that's like 70% ownership in total. I think that's going to be even. I mean, it's hard for me to. It was physically hard for me to build lineups that didn't have either of them in it. So it's hard for me to see 30%. I mean, 30% to not have Cook and 30% to not have Jefferson. I think these guys end up a total of 80 to 85% each.
Well, here's the thing, though. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. I do want to talk about someone that I think could be valuable here.
So tell me, who's someone?
KJ Osborne could be valuable here tonight.
Because Thielen, okay, so what you think that Osborne's just going to slot in to Thielen's role? Like, what do you think
he had 9 targets and 3 receptions against Pittsburgh. Now, he might not need 9 targets tonight, but Osborne is someone that I like.
If it's not Osborne, like I'm expecting them to run out, it's going to be a lot of Jefferson, Osborne, Conklin on the sets. But how about the rest of the team? Like, I'm trying to gauge like how many snaps do you think Amir Smith-Marset gets? How about Rodney Adams? Like these secondary guys, Myron Mitchell. I don't even know who Myron Mitchell is. Are these guys even worth playing down here?
I mean, it feels like the answer is no to me. I mean, I'm looking at the projections right now, and I know it's, a $200 guy catches a 50-yard touchdown, like you're dead, right? But I can't bring myself to play Myron Mitchell.
Right. Well, I'm not playing Myron Mitchell, but I am playing some Amir Smith-Marset and some Chris Herndon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. I mean, the Vikings, kind of built this thing on 2 tight ends anyway. So I don't hate that call, but I'm not playing Myron Mitchell. Like,
he's active apparently, but
yeah.
But no, is that going to be the guy that wins everyone something? It's the guy that I don't play down there. We're going to see, and we can go 3 wide receiver sets, and we're going to see Myron Mitchell out there going, how did we not know? How did we not know Myron Mitchell? So he's the meme call, I guess. Right? He's barely going to be on. I mean, we have him at 1.6%. I think that may be high.
Yeah, it could be for sure. Could be for sure.
Are you playing captain wise? Are you sticking with the high price captains? Cook, Jefferson, Fields, Montgomery?
In my single entry build, KJ Osborne is my captain currently.
Wow. Yeah, I don't have KJ Osborne in the captain spot.
Captain KJ is what's going on right now.
You're playing single entry, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then are you spending most of the salary?
No. I've got,
because in single entry, I could understand you like you still may not get duped enough in a smaller field contest, but the question comes in is when you play KJ Osborne, the captain, and I optimize right here, like you're basically just jamming in Cook, Jefferson, Fields, and like him, you could jam in everyone.
Yeah. Like I said, you know I'm going to have one of these kickers, and then it's just, I can't jam in everyone. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you probably have Cook Jefferson in there definitely. So you're gonna play Osborne and the captain even without Kirk Cousins in there.
I'm fading Kirk Cousins entirely on this slate. Entirely. Here's why. I don't think he outscores Dalvin Cook. I don't think he outscores Justin Jefferson. And I don't know if he might outscore KJ Osborne, but KJ Osborne is valuable enough for me to still not play Cousins. Like I think Cousins has one of these, 230-yard passing games and a touchdown. And maybe Osborne catches the touchdown. Like I just feel like Kirk Cousins ends up in this 15 to 17 point window where I can get that from Jefferson and Cook, and Osborne gets 15 and Justin Fields gets, 14 for a little bit cheap. You know what I'm saying?
And then you jam everyone in and that's fine.
Yeah. I don't think Kirk Cousins is valuable enough for me to invest in him on this particular slate.
Do you think Justin Fields actually has more upside than Cousins because he could score with his legs?
Yeah, and that's why I'm leaning on Justin Fields a lot more than Cousins. A lot more. I just wish Justin Fields.
Out of my 26 lineups, I have Fields in 24 of them.
Yeah. I mean, the rushing upside, even if he only rushes for 40 yards, if he scores a touchdown on the ground by chance, that's 10 points right there. And then if he throws one, that's 14 plus his passing yards. I just think that the upside is there for Fields, especially Jordan. Now that it seems like, at least from what I've seen the past few games, it seems like if he can't get the ball out, like within 3 seconds, he's going to try to ensure they keep positive yardage going, right? He's going to take off and run. If he gets to the edge and nothing there, he's going to take off and run. And it's not like he's running for 30 yards, 5 yards here, 8 yards there, 6 yards here, 10 yards there. And before you know it, it's like, oh, he ran for 50 yards today. And so that's why I think Fields is more valuable the more he decides to take off for the rest of this season.
FanDuel. I know we talk a lot about DraftKings. I'm going to touch on FanDuel. Looking at the FanDuel's format, 5 slots, no multiplier, no salary multiplier. If you're playing the large field contest, do you think the easiest way to be more unique, just don't play Cook or Jefferson in the MVP spot? Play like Fields or Montgomery instead? Because it's good. You have to think that with no salary multiplier, Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson will combine for probably 70+% ownership in that MVP spot.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And see, for me, if I was playing FanDuel, the reason, and I had some success on FanDuel in these showdown slates, but that's because typically what you have to do on FanDuel is you have to just go well over the field on the good plays, right? So Jordan, what I'm saying is this: when it's a slate, like when you have the Lamar Jackson slate and he was really cooking, then what I'd have to do is say, okay, Lamar Jackson's going to be 50% in the MVP spot tonight. I'm probably just going to hit the lock button. And that way I ensure that I got my shot at all these combinations that would ensue in hopes that one of these might be the incredible differentiator. And dare I say 80% of the time, that's not going to happen. You're going to be duped 3,000 times on FanDuel, right? Whereas on DraftKings, I think, because of the multiplier and the salary differential, when you take those types of stands, if you happen to be right, you've probably given your chance an outside shot at solo, an outside shot, and then maybe it's duped 20 times. Something like that. Maybe 30 times, but giving yourself a shot. And so tonight's one of those nights where for me on FanDuel, here's what I would do. I almost would play Justin Fields in the captain, I think, on FanDuel. Like, I think that's the route I would go because he essentially has equal upside because of the rushing, and he can still get the touchdowns through the air. And so if they all end up in this grouping where, especially with the half-point PPR on FanDuel, where Justin Jefferson, instead of him ending up with like 25 fantasy points, he ends up with 20 on FanDuel. And Dalvin Cook, instead of ending up with 22, he ends up with like 18. And then Justin Fields squeaks them out and ends up with 22.3 or something like that, just slightly above. He ends up being the captain you need. And then you can still have those other guys, or maybe at least one of them, in the in just the regular flex spots.
I'm looking on scoresandodds.com. Myron Mitchell anytime touchdown plus 675.
Oh, that's actually a little lower than I thought. I thought that one might have come in at like plus 1,000,
1,500, right? Yeah,
it's like something up there.
Most books don't have it. I mean, I just see on one it's plus 675, but he has better touchdown. He has similar touchdown odds as CJ Ham and Khalil Herbert, I guess. Right? He doesn't like. I'm looking across here. I'm not saying that you should play Myron Mitchell because I have zero Myron Mitchell.
I know exactly what you're saying. We're all clear here. All clear.
Right.
Here.
We're just playing, we're just joking around. He has better odds. Look, Chris Herndon plus 700 on the same book. Myron Mitchell plus 675.
Wow.
Is there something I don't know about Myron Mitchell?
Crazy.
So I would figure that Herndon probably sees the field because he'll be the second tight end, so I get it. Is it possible that Myron Mitchell doesn't play a single snap? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely is possible.
He's going to be in the winning lineup. When you're making fun of something like this, Myron Mitchell, 30-yard touchdown on some broken play where he's only played 4 snaps or something. Or he's on special teams and he recovers a fumble on like a muffed punt. And it's the Vikings plus Myron Mitchell combination, the double dip or something. I don't even know if he's on special teams. I don't even know. I've never heard of this dude before we even mentioned him on the show. But for joke's sake, feel free to throw in a Myron Mitchell line. I just by saying his name, I probably boosted his ownership 5 times. He was going to be 0.05% owned. Now he's going to be 0.01% owned. Instead.
Let me ask you this, Blender. Would you rather go Damiere Byrd and Cairo Santos? And I know I'm not giving you the rest of my lineup, so I understand that part is vague. I understand that. Or both kickers.
I'll take Damiere Byrd. I have a lot of this range. I like Komet. I like Bird. I like both of them. I mean, I have lineups that have one of them in the cap. I have like 2 Komet captain lineups. I have 2 Bird captain lineups. Like, I'd much rather play them than the kickers. And I don't play kicker captain lineups. Right.
Okay. So now let's do this. Last thing, because I'm hoping people kind of get an idea of what we're thinking here. Would you
Most
rather
of my
go?
lineups have 4 Bears in it,
Yeah.
not 4
Okay.
Vikings.
Yeah. No, I get it. Question: would you rather go Montgomery, Bird, Komet, or Fields, Bird, Santos? See, that's the little nuance.
It depends on who's in the other slots in your lineup.
Right, and I knew you were going to say
right,
that.
that
I already
one
knew
is
this.
Right.
Right. I already knew this, and that's why I said up front. I know you don't know the rest of my lineup, so it's a little bit vague.
Montgomery, Bird, Komet lineups without Fields in it would do better with Cook in the captain, or at least Cook in the lineup.
Yep, Cook would be in the lineup for sure.
Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense than having Jefferson. Because if you assume that a lineup that doesn't have Fields in it, I assume that the Bears are behind in the game.
Yeah.
And if Fields puts up 10 points, but Bird and Komet for their prices could put up 12, and Montgomery could put up 18, and the Vikings scored 3 rushing touchdowns, more so than Jefferson goes 12 for 150 and 2. Because if that happens, I don't think Montgomery even gets. I don't think Montgomery gets there. I don't think Fields gets there at all in that situation anyway. So I mean, we're really splitting hairs here. I think it's perfectly fine. I prefer Komet and Bird in that range rather than the defense. Like obviously they're a little bit more expensive, but I prefer them over the kickers and the defenses.
Yeah.
And I say that I have a lot of Vikings defense and I have a lot of Greg Joseph in my lineups. I do. But that's primarily because I don't have Cook and Jefferson together in most of my stuff. So I gotta play someone. I mean, I'm playing mostly 4-2 lineups. So I gotta find 2 Vikings to play. And I'm light on Osborne and I'm light on all of them. I just hope everything gets spread out. That's all I hope for. Just if the Vikings could just spread out their attack, this is a low-scoring game. Like my lineup could do well in that situation. If one of them just goes off for 1 million points, then so be it. Then maybe I cash a bunch of lineups, but I ain't gonna win.
Yeah.
And Will, by the way, 815.
I got you, friend. I got you.
Because right coming up after this show is Grind the Line. You don't even have to go anywhere. It's right on the same video that you see on YouTube. Grind the Line with Dean, with Grant, with SBK, most probably. And they'll be live betting throughout Monday Night Football, joking around about, I don't know, movies. Grant will be yelling about food or something. And you can hang out with them all during Monday Night Football as you take a look at live bets throughout the course of the game. If you're going to do that, do it on BetMGM. Use the promo code GRINDERSBET, all one word, GRINDERSBET. You make a deposit, you bet $10. Your team scores a touchdown, $200 right in your pocket. Well, in your account. It doesn't technically go in your pocket, but it's pretty much in your pocket. So go to BetMGM, use the promo code GRINDERSBET. But DFS Dre in chat, Nagy calling plays, RIP Bears. I'm playing for the Bears win. I don't think the Bears are going to win. The likely outcome is that the Vikings beat them by more than a touchdown. But as I always say, I'm not trying to play the most probable lineups. I'm trying to play the most profitable lineups. And to me, I don't mind playing 40 showdown slates and losing 39 of them if the one that I win is for 200 grand. So like that, just explaining my style of play. You're playing smaller field single entry stuff, so you could be a little bit more, a little less crazy than me.
A little less, just
a little less. Sometimes you are a little bit crazy, but you're not, playing, Myron Mitchell crazy.
Correct.
I'd be interested to see what his ownership is. I almost feel like I need to put him. I feel like I need to swap him into one of my lineups. I have Amir Smith-Marset in a couple. I should play Myron Mitchell. It'll be awful. Will, if I have the nut lineup, except that I have Smith-Marset in, except for Myron Mitchell, and that would have been like a solo thing.
And
It would
just
be
by the
awful.
number of times you've said his name in the show, you have to at least have one lineup with him.
No, I don't. Luck's hitting. I don't got nothing.
That's it.
I play by the numbers, I don't play by the emotion, the gut.
Well, at least we know which nail is going into your coffin then.
I'd rather it be Myron Mitchell, because the most likely if Myron Mitchell scores a touchdown, it doesn't kill me at least. It means I probably don't win, but I mean, it's much different than if like Cook and Jefferson both have 2 touchdowns. I probably have 0 return because I have lineups that don't have both of them in it. Do we got Dean here?
Dean's here.
Yo, what's going on?
Hey.
What's up, Dino?
You excited about tonight's very exciting football game between the Bears?
Stoked.
What was that?
Stoked, Dean.
Yeah, we're stoked.
Giddy for sure. Yes. I don't know if you guys heard it.
Is Grant and SBK out due to health and safety protocols?
They're being quarantined as we speak. I don't really know that they're late for some reason, but maybe they're hanging out with the Bears secondary because the entire secondary is missing for the Bears. I'm not sure we saw that. So
they
it's
are.
A bunch of well, yeah, like they were
so they're not playing with any secondary, just like 0 safeties, and that's it.
They found some dudes. They're not throwing like D linemen in the secondary. I'm pretty sure that's not what's happening. But yeah, it's yeah. Justin Jefferson's a pretty good wide receiver. I mean, this is my hot take. I think he's going to have a big game.
His receiving prop is 105.5.
That's a monster number. Jeez, I saw like a 91.4 on Prize Picks. I'm sure Chief. Well, I'm guessing Chief liked that, the over on that. What do you think, Chief?
Over for what?
105.5 for Justin Jefferson.
I mean, the Blitz actually had him under tonight, which is another reason why, listen, I'm just not as excited about this Vikings pass game as everyone else is. It's just Jefferson's going to get so much volume. He's probably going to get there just volume alone. Like, and that's what scares me, right? Because the Blitz only has him at around 80 something yards.
Oh, Cousins just took a shot in the very first play of the game, but I guess he's fine. By the way, you know who I took a shot on? I can't pronounce the dude's name. The backup running back for Minnesota, in case something goofy happens to Cook.
Yeah, of course.
You're on board with that, SBK?
I mean, I don't know if I'd say on board, but I think there are far worse dart throws to take on this slate.
Did you take any shots on Myron Mitchell, though?
No, Myron Mitchell. Who's that? Is that a creative player?
Well, that's what I never heard of this guy beforehand, but apparently he has a projection in the Blitz.
He does, yeah. He got
Myron Mitchell he doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. How's that possible?
You might see a lot of that next
have that?
Number 87, he's from UAB, 6'1", 185, 23 years old.
Alabama, Birmingham.
Wide receiver, kick returner.
By the way, a message sent by Grant at exactly 8:15 for your information, running a few minutes behind. Oh, wait, so you're not here. We kind of pieced that together, but thank you for the heads up, Grant. He should be joining us shortly. Of course, if you guys, well, this is the bridge. This is the bridge to the Grind the Line show. Happens here. How this goes down is we talk sports gambling and also other sorts of shenanigans. But betting on the fly, betting which book is given the best odds, the best lines to hit, depending on what's going on in the game. And I know we had an albatross situation last game. Grant had himself a nice night. SBK, are you excited about Minnesota and Chicago? Do you have any takes? What did you get before the game? Do you have anything as far as a side or a total?
As usual, I'm on a home underdog at Chicago +7 and +260. I have a couple free bets on the Bears. I have a bet on the Bears defense to score the first touchdown of the game, so I'm anxiously watching this drive. I don't love it. I mean, I bet it pretty light. I think this is the COVID situation for Chicago just makes it obviously very weird. They have like nothing in secondary. I don't know if Mike Zimmer would be smart enough to throw as much as he probably should in the spot, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Blender and Chief, you guys want to get out of here, I assume, yes? I assume so. I don't want to make any presumptions, but this is about the time where Will just says, hey, I'm going to come back later, possibly maybe in the third quarter. We're running out of weeks for this, Will, but by all means, tell us you're going to come back later. Same deal, Blender. What do you guys have for us as you step aside and enjoy the rest of your evening?
I may make it back later. I have a podcast after this, food for thought. And so one of these days I'm going to leave, but I'm coming back again. I shall return.
Week 19.
Look, the playoffs, it can happen. Are we running this little thing during the playoffs?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. It's not going to affect your life either way, one way or the other. Deep pass down the side. Did not get it. 4th down. Minnesota, I presume, is going to punt now. Blender, you got
who were they throwing it to? Was it KJ or was it Jefferson?
I think it was Conklin, actually.
Oh, the tight end. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't have it. Usually I have it on in this direction, but I don't even have it on. I will crank it up here shortly. All right. Well, boys, it's been fun. Can't wait to see you guys. I know I keep teasing it, but I'm pretty excited to get to see you guys, man. Seen you guys in about 3 years. So this is going to be a reunion at some point, and I'm excited about that. I might return one day. All right.
Enjoy your night. Blender, you got anything before you want to get out of here?
No, I'm doing the Northern Irish goodbye. When I say that I'm leaving.
The Northern Irish are notorious.
Right, the Northern right, like from Belfast. It's not the normal Irish goodbye. Like the normal Irish goodbye is just me leaving. The Northern Irish.
I didn't know there was going to be geography. There's geography. I was not aware. Belfast is up north. Did not. I know
Belfast is the capital of Northern Ireland.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'm aware of Belfast. Yeah, but I didn't know the geographical location of it to be precise. But all right, Blender. Anything else? You getting out of here? Yeah, you're leaving Irish goodbye. Northern
Let's
Irish
go,
goodbye.
Myron Mitchell.
You played Myron Mitchell?
No, I didn't. But if I'm going to lose, I'd rather lose to the guy that I was making fun of for the entire show.
Oh, the Warriors are starting Kuminga. That was the play. They're going to play 12 guys anyway, but that's kind of interesting.
I haven't heard what's going on with NBA. I see the starting lineups come out. Why don't I've ever heard of half the guys that are starting in the NBA anymore?
Have you not been playing NBA DFS?
No. I haven't been playing because I look at the end. By the time I'm done with the injury report, lock hits. So I mean, I start looking at the injury report at 5:30, and by the time I get to the end of it, it's already midnight. So I didn't even get a chance. I never get a chance to play because
just for fun, there was an evacuation alert tonight in the Boston-Philadelphia game. But I guess everything is all fine there now. They're still they're playing basketball again, but yeah, man, it's been a disaster. But you got to still grind. I'm still grinding away. Just we'll figure it out.
I can't do it.
Adjust accordingly.
There's news that comes in every 3 minutes or something. If some guy is supposed to play and then doesn't play, the guy that's out is in. I don't know. Upside, downside. It's like Inception. I have no idea what's real anymore. I feel like it has to be a simulation at this point. They're computer generated players playing in NBA. We are living in a simulation.
Spin the dreidel. Is it a dreidel or just a top? What is it that's spinning?
It was what do they call it? What do they call it? A 10 pole or something?
I don't remember the technical term for it. I guess it wasn't a dreidel.
It wasn't a dreidel. No, it wasn't.
It was dreidel-like though. It's the same.
Yes, it was dreidel-like, but no, it didn't have the 4 Hebrew letters. It wasn't a dreidel. No.
Blender, it was a pleasure. It's nice that I enjoy our 7 minutes a week. We talk. That is like our quota.
No, you just avoid not having Grant here yet.
That's what I'm enjoying that right now. He's probably gonna be knocking on the door any second now. But myself and SBK and Devin, we're gonna have a nice conversation watching this Minnesota Chicago game, and we'll be betting some stuff on the fly. We'll see what kind of gets it for us. But my favorite bet was the Jazz. That's basketball, but I like the Jazz tonight minus 11.5. I don't think you can still get 11.5, but they're gonna wallop Charlotte. Blender, good times.
Northern Irish goodbye.
They announce it as they're stepping out the door in Northern Ireland. What's up, Keith? You're going on vacation tomorrow?
I don't know if I could say vacation, but going home to see the family for the holidays. Yeah, fly in tomorrow, and then I think I fly out a week later. So nice little trip home. I don't know if the NBA is going to allow me to actually take a break, but yeah, I'm hoping to get some time with my family during that week-long thing.
Yeah, I mean, the RG usage is going to be pumped up for all the other projection guys if you kind of step aside for a day or two or a few hours or so. But hey, at least there's no basketball on Friday, maybe the day after Christmas. What day is Christmas? Or is it Christmas Eve?
Christmas
Day
Eve.
before. Okay.
That's like
yeah.
that's the one nice thing. I feel like it does break the week up a little bit. We have a weirdly small slate, I think, too, on Wednesday, and then an oddly big one on Thursday. So it's a little bit. Oh, Adams got picked. So let's see. The schedule's a little bit weird for NBA, but
Lovely. I love hearing that.
yeah,
I don't mean to laugh, but you see what Grant just put in our chat? He said he may have food poisoning. I tried to warn him not to get Pizza Hut, and look at what happens. This is what happens when you order Pizza Hut.
He had that today.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's too early for Pizza Hut.
That's ballsy.
Well, he won like thousands of dollars, and he celebrated by winning by spending it on Pizza Hut. It's like, come on, man. You know?
That's just dumb.
Hopefully Grant comes in. If not, we'll see. We'll still kind of make do, but nothing really terribly interesting going on in the Chicago Minnesota game. Only 5 minutes in, obviously. And have you taken a look as far as the basketball slate? Did you play anything DFS wise in basketball, or are you just kind of doing your projections and that's what you have time for?
So I didn't do any DFS stuff. I do have. So I ended up on the Sixers once it was announced that Embiid was going to play. I do have a Grizzlies ticket -8.5 with Ja, and that's a kind of a small side. That one I don't really feel great about. I am kind of interested in getting on the Spurs in the event that Paul George is inevitably ruled out. I haven't kept my eye on that in the last couple of minutes, but if he doesn't play, I can see that being a game that Pop goes in there and wins. So I'll probably play Spurs money line small. I think that's the only other thing on the NBA card for right now. What is the Utah line at, like 13.5 now?
11.5. It was like a half hour ago. So Charlotte's playing on a back-to-back, traveling in Utah, one of the toughest places to play. Bears punting, by the way. They're without Gordon Hayward. Charlotte is the worst defensive team in basketball. Utah is the best offensive team in basketball. I just feel like this is a recipe for them. They have a 125 team total. Like, when was the last time you saw that for any team? I feel like it's been a while.
Last year, probably. That is one odd. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks now, so it's not that odd anymore. But it seems like the totals, obviously, with like how they change calling fouls and stuff, it has definitely impacted totals. Like I feel like just on a nightly basis, like I still feel like I'm coming in low, like significantly lower, really, than I was last year. But yeah, I do like some great points on the Jazz, and they do seem like when they're decent sized favorites at home, I feel like they do seem to cover like pretty consistently. And yeah, against a team like Charlotte that can't really rebound that well, like you're giving Utah second chances. That's like that's the way to get killed.
I think Gobert's total for rebounds is over under was 15.5 tonight. Like, I would not feel comfortable betting the under on that. Who's going to rebound for Charlotte? They have Plumlee back, but otherwise it's just, I mean, Nick Richards would get eaten alive by Gobert. PJ Washington might play some 5 or whatever, but I don't know if they're going to stretch Gobert away from the basket. I don't know how much that would. It just seems like Gobert is just like potential 2020 night.
Same spread between that game and the Sacramento Golden State game, at least on MGM, 12.5 for both games.
Yeah,
it's 12.5 now.
Yeah,
it was 11.5 a half hour ago. I was talking to right when we got up to the basketball show. I talked to Grant about it very briefly, and he said he found it at 11.5, and I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty good number.
Was he calling you from the bathroom?
No, I don't. This is round 2 or round. Well, to be fair, I talked to him. I typed to him, so maybe he was.
Yeah. There's no way to know then.
So he gave us an update, and he said I don't know how does one discover when they have food poisoning? You just kind of know. I guess it's like one of those things, you know it when you see it. But he says he'll know in 15 minutes if he has officially had food poisoning, and we'll see.
A rapid response food poisoning test.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's always like self-diagnosed, isn't food poisoning? Like, so it's like, I just, the last time I had that was a Publix rotisserie chicken got me.
Oh, God.
Like,
really?
I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't. Yeah. I mean, it was when I was living in Nashville, and I broke out in the chills. It was wild, man. And like, you just feel like you're going to die for several hours, and then you get it out of your system. It's like, oh, I guess I'm okay now. But, and don't they say sometimes it's not always the last thing you ate, but the second to last thing, and sometimes they're blaming it on the wrong thing?
To kind of like muddy it up, I feel like the diplomatic way to describe food poisoning is that the umbrella covers a lot of symptoms that may also be other things that are happening. So it's kind of upon you to decide, did I have something questionable in the last day or so?
Yeah. Would Pizza Hut fall under the like a more likely candidate than
That would
Knott's
be
to
it. That
questionable?
that would be on the board next to all the other images of restaurants and thin piece of yarn connecting them all.
The chat. Oh, go ahead.
That almost seems like a food that's more likely to get you sick earlier in the day. Like I feel like Pizza Hut is acceptable, like maybe like later at night after you've had a couple of drinks. Like having that like just for like lunch on a Monday is just a bizarre choice. I feel like that's just not a good equation.
You got to fortify your belly before it.
Yeah.
It's acceptable when other things are closed. It's like, I mean, nothing. Who goes to Denny's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Like, who's that guy? Because that's a lunatic, right? Or like Waffle House. You're supposed to go to these places like
Dean,
your options
you're
get thinner.
twisting the knife here. Denny's and Waffle House are on the shooting range here.
Look, I'm pro. To be fair, I'm pro. I'm just saying. Okay, who gets like a burger from Denny's? How about that? Who gets a burger from Denny's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Who's that guy?
Like, I can get
somebody
behind
who's
that.
like
places
on
get a
the
burger.
road for like 6 hours. That's the only. If you're like a trucker, like on the road, and you're stopping somewhere like that, that's okay. I think Waffle House is still acceptable at other times. That I don't know. They just do some things really well, but yeah, Denny's.
Like waffles?
You do good waffles. Their bacon also. The crisp level of Waffle House's bacon is top notch.
Really? I didn't know they were notorious for their bacon. Okay.
I don't know if they're notorious for it or not, but every time I get it, I'm like, this is solid. Like this is good bacon.
Yeah, I feel like.
By the way, Embiid's got 15 real life points with 3 minutes to go in the first half because he's being covered, and there's probably air quotes there somewhere by Enos Freedom. Once I saw that it was going to be Freedom and basically nobody else, I'm like, yeah, Embiid's going to be at least tonight. I guess you saw the same thing there, Keach, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is in large part to why I played the Sixers, but yeah, I mean, Cantor in a weird way, like obviously he's a terrible defender, but like when you just try to back him down in the post, he's actually not bad at defending that way. It's like you need to get him in pick and rolls and stuff, make him defend on the perimeter. If you're just trying to like kind of dog him down in the post, like that's where he can succeed. And he is like he's a good pest kind of. So I could in a weird way see like the one thing I feared a little bit with Embiid was foul trouble. Obviously, Cantor more of like a offensive presence than Williams, who's just kind of rim running. But yeah, I mean, I think Embiid did pick up 2 early fouls too, but I guess that's not an issue now.
Yeah.
But Cantor, like, he just always scares me. Just like as long as you're willing to take him out, like I feel like his defense almost is a better thing for perimeter players rather than the actual guy he's guarding.
That's a good point. By Minnesota in the red zone, for what it's worth, they're at about the 17-yard line, first down. We're keeping an eye on that.
There's a joke somewhere. There's a joke
Okay.
somewhere about Enos's last name change and the fact that he's not stopping Embiid. There's a joke there somewhere.
Yeah. Just feel free to score all day long. Hit that like button if you guys watching on YouTube. Hit the like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that. And if you're looking to chat with us, we're happy to chat with y'all. How would you go about doing that? Go to the RotoGrinders Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, and you find yourself the live stream chat channel. Whatever's on your mind, we're talking this game. If you're trying to play some showdown stuff later or any basketball stuff later, you're betting any props later, we're happy to hear our thoughts on that. And of course, we've been talking about how to potentially live bet this Minnesota-Chicago game as well. We are waiting on Grant. Potentially he'll be here soon. He's currently questionable, I guess we can say, right? Is that
we got confirmation. Yes, I do have food poisoning. So I'm assuming that means he might be on his way out.
So we're gonna scratch. Grant got late scratch. If you played Grant today and you're on your lineups, I mean, I don't tell you, man. Close the laptop.
Email support.
Netflix.
Get your money back.
There you go.
Well, Dean.
Devin, by the way, it's about this time, Devin.
I was just
what
about
are you
to
doing
suggest.
tell us right now?
I was just gonna say.
What are you gonna say?
Want to do some flash drafts, Dean?
Let's do it. Let's fire it up. How much time is the next flash draft on DraftKings?
I'm probably gonna miss.
I'm gonna hop into this one with you guys.
Yes. We got a.
By the way, my running back's in there instead of Cook. I'm assuming Cook's fine, but like they rotated him in on third down.
Is that Ham? Is Ham going Ham?
No.
No.
I want to say the guy. I can't pronounce his name, and I feel like I should know how to do it. But that's a touchdown for Jefferson, I believe, in the corner. He's really good at football, and nobody can guard him on Chicago because they have a bunch of dudes that don't normally playing in the secondary.
Hate to see it.
Who could have saw that coming? Imagine fading Jefferson. Who's that guy?
Well, my Bears to score the first, or Bears defense to score the first touchdown obviously goes down. But yeah, I mean, Jefferson just did you see what his prop ended up at? I didn't actually take a look like what it.
We were at like 102 as far as a touchdown prop, or as far as his receiving total.
Yardage.
We got 10 seconds.
102, I think it was. Oh no, 10 seconds, Devin. Ah,
I'm gonna get in. I think. Yeah, I'm in. Dean.
What's happening, Dean?
I got in 2 of them.
Wow. All right. Well done.
All
Wait,
right.
we're making
Osborne
thicker.
3x,
All right.
Jefferson 1.5, Cousins 1.5. Oh boy,
Oof.
that's tough.
Osborne.
I mean, Jefferson's ridiculous. Like, is that the chalk? People just saw him score a touchdown, so they're gonna absolutely play him now.
Yeah, I'm going Kirk. It's pretty split up there.
Yeah, it was.
Got to
You gonna double down on Cousins?
Yeah.
Going Cook.
I'm running it back with Fields. Fields, Cousins versus Cook. Did you watch the first game? Anybody?
No, I was
No.
too busy
Browns.
doing shows.
So was I.
Right.
So I was doing shows.
Gotta go, David.
Jefferson
Santos.
versus Montgomery. I mean, why can't Santos is different. All right, I'll take Santos because people are going to play Jefferson, I assume.
Montgomery was the play.
You're probably right. Ooh, 15% for Santos. I'll take that. Mooney versus Grant versus Santos. Do we double down on Santos?
I got to double up. Yeah, I'm all in on
I can't go
Kirk Cousins
Santos.
and Cairo Santos. What a second quarter this should be.
Second quarter is going to be SBK's time to shine.
Hey, if Cairo Santos is bombs away, then yeah, I'll take that. We got
That another double up on Jakeem Grant.
Osborne versus Joseph versus Grant.
I got to go with one of Kirk's receivers, I guess. I'll go KJ. Hopefully they just put like 4 guys on Justin Jefferson. It's like, yeah, make one of these other bums beat us. That's not going to happen.
All right.
Would have
let's
maybe
go.
thought that would happen before the game started, but here we are with him scoring already.
Yeah, it didn't take long. Oh, I did cash in
lines-
that fourth quarter showdown from or splash draft from last Friday or last Thursday. Right on. Playing with profits here.
Nice. House is money.
That's right.
Anything changed there as far as the lines? Anything popular there, Keach, as far as the live line with Minnesota now up 7-0 in Chicago?
No, actually, yeah, I should let me take a look at that now that this flash draft's come to a close. Vikings got the ball first. Yeah, I need a pretty big number on Chicago here to want to pull the trigger. There's just like them moving the ball or having any sustained success on offense just is like such a hard thing to bet on, really. Even that game, that Green Bay game the other night, like they had that punt return from Jakeem Grant. They had another kind of broken play that turned into a long touchdown. Like them actually being able to sustain drives is scary. So I'm probably not actively looking to get more on the Vikings. Plus 400 on the Bears. Plus 400 on the Bears right now on MGM. I wouldn't.
That's
play
not
it.
bad. That sounds pretty
Not
appealing.
bad. Yeah, 260 was the number I think pregame. So, I mean, you got 3 now for both team, and then obviously Minnesota scoring there.
Just went to
And
375.
Chicago gets the ball first in the second half.
Yeah. Numbers coming down a little bit, down to 375 on Chicago now. So a little bit of buying on that 400. I probably would have wanted, if it was like 500, I probably would have thought about sprinkling that. But I also may look for buying opportunities on the Vikings. Minus 9.5 on the spread currently. Minus 550 on the money line on MGM. There's a decent run from Montgomery.
What was the pregame total? Was 46.5? 47.
Yeah. Paul George will play. So it looks
Good.
like I actually might try to get on the Clippers here at 4.5.
DFS perspective, that kind of mucks up a lot of the Clippers, obviously.
Yeah. So on 4.5. 4.5 is pretty much, well, in the Tennessee market is pretty much everywhere. The juiced You have MGM, FanDuel, or excuse me, MGM or DraftKings. You can get a -4.5, -110.
They hopefully faded that high priced Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, I mean 7.5 or whatever he is on DK. Like that's unplayable. I can't imagine with George out there.
But yeah, I mean George was questionable for like a string of games there. Jakeem Grant on the nice run there. As I shit on the Bears offense, they put together a couple nice consistent run plays.
Yeah, they're doing some things out there.
Yeah.
Grant's a fun little player, right?
Nice Miami days, he did do some fun things. I saw there was somebody, Philly guy, who won for whatever reason, FanDuel. I think they may have changed this, like as of the last couple nights, they got killed by it. But they, not relatively, but they were letting people play same game parlays of the Chicago defense to score a touchdown and Jakeem Grant to score a touchdown, and like parlaying those odds. Yeah, and so somebody hit, I think for $50K, hit one in the Monday night game with Chicago against Green Bay.
What was it?
And then somebody hit one yesterday on Braxton Berrios and the Jets.
It's a punt return.
They won $100,000. Yeah.
For a punt return.
I saw that.
That guy's from he's from Philly. I talked to him before, like a year ago. We had a little
there's a fumble by Fields and Minnesota recovered it. Oh boy, that's a bummer. If you notice the line changing real quickly.
The sustained part of that falling apart here pretty quickly. I mean, put the ball away. That's terrible. I'm gonna start with a 50.
Yeah.
I bet you we see 14-0 pretty quickly. Although we are almost the end of the first quarter already. Clock's moving.
Did he hit the ball? It doesn't look like he hit the ball. The defender looked like he hit him like in his. Well, I guess they got it some of his arm or something. But yeah, like you said, it wasn't tucked away really well.
No, he caught the inside. Oh no, he like kind of hit his like forearm and he just didn't have a good hold on the ball.
Shout out to Alex in chat, riding the flash draft wave with us, so he'll be hopping in on the next one. Said tough L for the Titans. Tough L for the Titans this weekend, which yes, it was.
Oh my goodness, that game was crazy. I had a Steelers bet, and it looked like the Titans were basically just trying to give that game to Pittsburgh. Like the fact that I won that bet is so lucky. Was it they had 4 turnovers to none?
Yep.
Like you should be dominating games where that happens.
Just
and every time the Titans would turn it over, the Steelers would run like 2 run plays, lose a couple yards, end up doing nothing on third down, punting it right back to them. And they turn it over again.
I had to go get some vodka after that game.
I don't blame you. That was a tough one to watch. I'm kind of afraid of the same thing tomorrow with the Eagles. I think they end up like letting down, and the Redskins end up winning outright, and it's just mayhem in the streets on a Tuesday night in Philadelphia. This is
Devin, cover your ears. Cover your ears, Devin. Keach, is the Titans, are they the worst 9-5 team you've ever seen before?
The way the roster is now, I mean, if you give them back Derrick Henry and AJ Brown and like the guys that are hurt, no. But I mean that I've been betting against them pretty consistently since their offense is. I mean, you don't even like know who half the guys are that Tannehill's throwing to. Like it's just like back of the bench guys. So yeah.
Did I see a note that? I feel like I saw Brown was coming back. Did I see a note on that, or did I misread that?
Yeah. No,
I just saw something
he's not necessarily coming back, but I think they activated him, so he could potentially return. I think they play on Thursday.
I don't know.
Which team?
I only know who plays tomorrow night. Seattle, I think, plays tomorrow night, right? Is that the weird schedule?
Yes. And the Eagles.
There's 2 different games: Eagles versus Washington, Seattle versus the Rams. Let's see who plays beyond that. There's football every single night. It's ridiculous. Every night, showdown.
No days off.
Just Wednesday.
Nope. Let's see. When do let's go ahead and click week 16. I have not looked at this yet.
Can't believe
Devin, your Titans play home. Go to the game, Devin. Have yourself a good time. They're home versus San Francisco.
That could be fun.
Thursday night. Tickets as low as $92 according to ESPN. I feel like I can get them cheaper than that.
Probably.
I wonder what that number will open up at. I wonder if San Francisco, pretty easy win. The Titans have kind of looked not great the last couple of weeks. And this could be a spot where I start to bet on the Titans now.
Plus 3.5 is the spread on that game.
Tennessee?
Yeah. San Fran's got the favored. Plus 145 for the Titans. Money line.
By the way, close
I
the
like
laptop for me. Alex Caruso got hurt, won't return.
That sucks.
That's really bad for your boy.
Made it a point to go DeRozan over Caruso tonight.
They let you do that with the salary constraints. Did you know a guy?
From a decision standpoint, a lineup construction standpoint.
It's amazing. He's like one of my. I think I have him like in every lineup. I didn't make a ton of lineups, but good Lord, that's not good. Yeah, I put Freedom in every lineup, and I think I have Caruso in every lineup, and that's losing American dollars tonight. That's unfortunate. He just came back from that hammy, and he played like 38 minutes, and I'm like, well, 38 minutes. That seems like a lot. I guess they must feel okay with him, and I don't know. Yeah, it's his foot, so I don't know if that's a little different body part than hamstring. They're connected, my understanding. But that is a bummer.
Is that UCF anatomy?
Yeah, I was an anatomy minor at UCF. Yeah, man, that stinks. I feel like every time we do these shows, like something like that happens. I'm just like tilting the rest of the show. What happened here in football with Conklin? Got hit right in the face. You holding that ball? No.
Dean, I feel that though. Last night I spent so long trying to go over Godwin or Evans, and I thought, at the beginning of the game I felt pretty good about having Godwin over Evans, and then sure enough, both of them are out by the end of the game.
I know people just use it as an expression, but I literally fell asleep watching that game. It just justifiably so. I woke up and I'm like, I saw 9-0. I'm like, well, this can't be right. Like, what happened? This has got to be a mistake.
I twisted my back in a weird way yesterday at the beginning of that game, and I was laying down, and the remote was like just outside of my arm reach.
And then you try to convince yourself like this isn't that terrible.
Like, it's fine. Something's gonna happen after the next drive. Nope.
What? I mean, did you watch this game, Keach? Because I missed most of it. I watched like maybe the first half. I forget the exact point I fell asleep. I did see Godwin tear his ACL. That's a bummer.
I fortunately did not watch most of that game. When it came on, I was watching, I think, the Heat and the Pistons. And then I got over to Kings. I forget who they played yesterday. But yeah, I had a Pistons money line ticket after they've lost like a million games in a row. So getting to watch that and then almost choked that away, although they did still kind of win comfortably. So I was watching bad basketball pretty much, which I think was a vast improvement upon that, watching that game. That looked so terrible. Tom Brady, I will say, the parts I did watch, he looked so angry toward the end of that game. Like every time he was getting sacked, he looked like he was going to cry or fight somebody every single time.
I'll never not think of that Rodgers tackle where he goes down and the face mask or his guard is right up here on his eyes and he's looking off to the side. Just so good. That's going to be burned into my memory for years.
I thought you were going to say Brady looks so old because, like, at some point he has to look old, right? Like, when is that? Every once in a while it kind of flares up, and maybe he'll be more exposed now with the absence of Godwin. Obviously, he's got incredible weapons. Fournette, I guess, is hurt for the foreseeable future as well. They are getting Antonio Brown back, but yeah, it's just amazing. I still am just Brady. He was 34 10 years ago. We were talking about him being washed like 10 years ago, probably. Potentially washed, but yeah, it's been an incredible career for him,
and he's been laughing the whole time.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you never eat a strawberry.
Right?
Is that what it was?
Is that?
Yeah, he's a no fruit guy. He is.
Wow.
It makes me feel better about my position on it.
If he can do it, we can all do it.
Right. I mean, if Tom Brady's doing it, why wouldn't I do it? I shouldn't be eating fruit. He's right.
I mean, strawberries are bad. I thought they're okay. I thought they're supposed to be like at least okay for. There's sugar in it, I suppose, right? But
I had strawberries this morning.
Yeah, in your cereal or just like a la carte?
As a side with the breakfast.
Are you like a strawberry in the cereal or like a banana in the cereal kind of guy?
I'll do that from time to time, maybe in some oatmeal. I'm a pyramid guy,
Yeah.
Dean. I like to build up all the blocks.
You got the food pyramid going? With a $10,000. Which pyramid are you talking
I think
about?
mine's outdated. I don't think I have the updated one where pizza is a vegetable.
Oh, they said that. I mean, I feel like that was a thing they said for like
For a while there, yeah.
for like school lunch. Did they qualify? It was like a school lunch scam where they somehow, because there's tomatoes in pizza. I remember that was a thing. Like then like somehow they lobbied for it to get under the yeah.
Because there are
Everything's gotta
vegetables
be
in
political,
pizza.
including pizza. But yeah, nobody thinks of pizza as a vegetable, right? Like if you throw some mushrooms on there, maybe we're talking. But even still, yeah. All right.
Not quite. No. I'd like to know how they grow a pizza.
I mean, if there was a pizza plant, I would consider get my own little garden. Why not? Sure.
Oh,
just as long as
fresh
pizza doesn't.
Right off the vine.
Yeah, right out the backyard. Yeah, imagine that.
Oh man.
I want to play this late basketball slate now because my lineups are all dead.
Tilt enter.
Let's see. Well, I mean, what do you think of Kuminga, Keach? Starting now. Are we excited about Kuminga starting?
I mean, he's obviously more appealing, but like that start he had the other night against Toronto, I don't expect that type of performance now that like all the regular guys are back. So I would imagine he's very low usage compared to that. What did he end up putting up that game?
Well, they're still without. I mean, they're without Poole and they're without Wiggins, so not everybody's back. Like Curry's back and Draymond's back. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. Curry, I mean, obviously he makes a humongous difference. But yeah, still, and Draymond too.
Yeah. I mean, Kuminga. I think Kuminga mopped up too because like why not? Pretty sure that's what was happening.
36 minutes. He was pretty efficient from the field, which I wouldn't always expect, and from 3, 4 of 6. I mean, he needed a lot to go right. He basically gave you nothing outside of points. He had 26 points. He had 30 fantasy points.
Dean,
I just know they like him. He's a good fantasy point minute guy, like around 0.91, 0.92, something like that. And they're facing.
I would not expect that here.
Dean, walk us through your lineup. Let's build it. Let's build a group lineup.
All right, what are we doing?
We do that.
This is the 2-game slate, right? That's what you're looking at?
I guess so. I'm pulling up something. I just want to have some kind of sweat for basketball.
I think Alex in chat's joining in, so we'll build a lineup.
What do we have? I'm on DraftKings right now to see if there's anything interesting. There's a $20,000, $80,000 contest with 20K up top. Any single entry stuff that's interesting? Geez, the contests are so terrible.
For this 2-game 9 Central evening NBA slate, this is terrible.
Well, I want to play a single entry contest that's good, and like they don't have that.
I think my favorite targets to this point on this, if we're just playing this 2 late game, obviously I like Paul George a lot. I do like Chimezie Metu. I think he's probably my favorite, like under the radar. I don't know how under the radar really is. King's hurt, but I like him a lot.
Do we have clarification on Holmes if he's in or if he's out?
He's out.
Officially. Okay. I missed that. Yeah, he's been out for like at least a week or something like that with his eye.
Yeah.
So Tristan Thompson, I guess, gets boosted up. I'm trying to see if our projection team has reacted to that.
We have.
And just a weird thing on that slate is just like there's a pretty decent chance that Golden State just wallops Sacramento, and all the Sacramento guys are really, really popular. Like, Heel and Halliburton and Barnes.
I like Belly kind of on the Golden State side in the event that happens. He'd probably be my favorite. Like, he can obviously could still play in a blowout.
Who's that? Bielitsa?
Yeah.
You call him Belly?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's a lot more fun to say than, Bejlika.
Roth always says Bielitsa pizza, which, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I thought Belly was like Bellinelli, like Marco Bellinelli. That was so like Belly. Like, who's Belly?
Or Cody Bellinger.
That's the true Belly. Yeah, that's the original Belly. Yeah, and I guess really the only Belly.
That definitely
he's passed it down.
Definitely sounds like a Stevie TPFL product. Calling him Belly.
Yeah.
What was
I
that
had to do
name?
some deductive reasoning.
Oh yeah, Luke. Well, he was Luke Richard and Bob Mute. You messed up.
Oh, yeah, everyone's second favorite Cameroonian, the Luke Richard and
Oh,
Mbamute.
yeah,
Of course,
there we
number
go.
one is the great Joel Embiid. There was the third Cameroonian. I can't remember who it was. Is it Boucher? Is it Pascal Siakam?
No.
I think Pascal Siakam's Cameroonian.
I think you might be right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you are.
Yep, Cameroonian.
I don't know who their fourth. Yeah, the Cameroon's got a decent team. They got
Yeah.
Pascal. They got Embiid. They have Luke Richard and Mbamute. I don't know the fourth. I don't know who fills out that team. But
Well, they have a good two guys. Yeah, environment. I don't know how much he's helping you, but yeah.
fair enough.
Alex in
He's
chat,
there.
or no, Wig in chat says not here for Metu, saying he thinks he's going to be not under the radar, popping in the optimizers.
Uh,
And
He thinks he is going to be.
Yeah, so
he
it's
probably is.
probably going to be popular.
Yeah.
And let's
Well,
just
it's
be,
like
let's
Cody
just
is
be
playing.
clear.
Like,
We're not building a cash lineup here. We're not building a cash
Yeah.
lineup on a 2-game NBA
oh
slate.
no. Yeah.
we're
Definitely.
not trying to grind out like $50.
So
You're just paying right now.
we like Bielitsa, Belly?
I don't hate that. I mean, it depends which. I mean, if we're gonna go with the premise of Golden State blows out Sacramento, then I think he'd be a decent option. But I feel like these Kings guys, like they're probably gonna play a decent amount, even if it does turn into that. The Warriors, obviously, like Curry, I still think I'd be okay with because he's gonna obviously have to have a lot to do with that and blowing him out. Draymond
Sure.
would make me a little bit more nervous.
I was trying to make sense out of a healed fade for the full slate earlier, for this 2-gamer. Can we make a case for that at all?
Yeah, he's
Two
super
games
scoring
later,
dependent.
48,
Yeah, I was gonna see what he did
48%.
last night.
Yeah.
He was awesome last night.
He's a heavily scoring dependent player. Like if he doesn't put like 15 points in the bucket, it could be a problem. Like he doesn't tend to pepper everything else, and there's a very real chance to get blown out. It's a second out of a back-to-back in Golden State, so if the game is getting ugly, they'll probably get pulled a little bit quicker than they normally would if it was an island game. And there are live bodies to like throw in there for Sacramento.
Jameis Ramsey, I think if we're gonna play on the it's gonna turn out into an ugly blowout and we want somebody deep, I wouldn't mind throwing him into the equation.
What about Damian Jones at 3K? That's what I was going to throw out there. Still minimum.
He actually looked really good last night. There was
I'd
I think it was
much
him and
rather
Halliburton.
Jones.
Damian Jones he actually might be a legit option. And he's also got the Warriors. That's where he came up with was Golden State.
Revenge factor.
Someone call that a
also-
revenge game.
Yeah, and he looked great last night, or for periods of time in the fourth quarter, in pick and roll. I think it was him and Halliburton that were running it together, and it actually looked pretty good. So crazier things.
Well, let's hit on a couple of ideas from chat. Gregorius says pair Murray and George, fade Curry, hit optimize.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're probably going to have like a projection of like 5 points less, whatever, than the optimal, but it's tournaments and who cares? I don't hate that idea.
And Alexander was saying, can we fade Reggie Jackson? We were talking about that earlier, Dean. That feels like a pretty easy fade, right?
Can you? I mean, you're supposed to, right? Like at that price.
Like in a weird way, he might be a sneaky target now for the late slate.
Oh, I mean, that's the thing. It's a 2-game slate, and it's so clearly you're so clearly supposed to play Sacramento and Golden State players and play as little as possible of, say, the Spurs and the Clippers. But tournaments, yada yada.
I mean, looking
And
at Derek
potential
White,
blowout.
right? If we're
He's
trying to get away from a Reggie Jackson at point guard, but Derek White's going to be more owned, it looks like.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna let me see if I'm gonna click optimize just out of curiosity, and I haven't changed my projections on. Well, actually, let me just change this because I manipulated them earlier for Golden State because let me just give me a second, and I'm gonna see what our optimizer says. So I'm sure it's gonna give us like all players in Sacramento, Golden State, and one guy in the Clippers game. I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen.
Jones is showing up
Probably.
whenever I have Bielitsa in there, which we were liking Jones earlier.
Well, that's actually not a bad correlation because they're both two mop-up guys, right? So if the game's going to blow out, I mean, the tricky thing with Bielitsa is they don't play him a lot of minutes anyway, so he's kind of a vet. And then, he's not a guy that's always going to be out there for mopping up, but he'll probably get his 18 to 20 minutes or something like that. Does that sound right, Keach?
yeah.
So how about this as a start? Halliburton, Bielitsa, Jones.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like Halliburton is the best play, one of the best plays in the slate, right? But like he's one of the, well, I guess he's one of the first guys to get cut off because he did everything for him last night. But he's probably going to get there in 3 quarters anyway.
Yeah, he could. I mean, the price tag on him is certainly come up to a level where you kind of like you really need him to be out there for this full lot of time. I get behind fading him. I think one of these Kings guys in the starting lineup probably gonna have to do something. And he's obviously kind of the best candidate. And yeah, I don't think
they're driving, by the way. We kind of ignored this game to some degree. The Bears are driving 3rd and 3 at the 20 as far as in the Minnesota territory. I don't know if it's 4-down territory. We'll see. Stay tuned on that. And Minnesota kicked a field goal at some point when we're talking about some basketball.
You just saw Justin Fields rush, right, Dean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where his whole body got like contorted. So I did click optimize on 50 lineups. There are 2 players that landed 100% of lineups. First down for Chicago. And you want to guess who those 2 players are? Because we've kind of talked about at least one of them. Well, I think we talked about both of them.
Jones?
Not Jones, no.
Tristan Thompson?
No, he's in 98%. Yeah. Which is always, that's comforting.
Metu?
98%. Yes. Metu, this is DK specifically.
So sneaky of me. Yeah, that was.
He's not sneaky at all. I assume he's going to start again. On FanDuel, he's kind of sneaky, I guess, because he's center only and he's got a bad price. Well, a worse price than DK. So 5 Kings landed in the first optimal. 5 Kings, 4. It took me 4 lineups to get to a 4 King, which again,
let's play 2 Kings. Let's play 2 Kings.
I like this.
Damian Jones being one of them, and I wouldn't hate the idea of going Jameis Ramsey and like going full bench mob Kings, going with like Steph still on the other side, and then kind of loading up a little bit more on the other game.
Yeah, see, I got to get my brain thinking like that because that's just that's hard to do for me. But I totally get it. Like you're playing for first, right? You don't care about this is Ricky Bobby style.
Yeah, Flores, Mark, and Chad agrees. I think the Clippers Spurs game stays close. That feels like a good contrarian line of thinking for a 2-gamer.
Yeah, I think Steph, Paul George, and then those 2 Kings values, and then kind of building out from there.
All right.
Let's do that. Paul George and Murray. Let's click on both of them as a lock and see what comes up.
That.
Curious what happens there. By the way, it was Halliburton and Metu, the 2 guys that were 100% of lineups.
And what was the second Sacramento you were saying, Keach?
Jameis Ramsey, I think, would be he'd have almost no ownership. I wouldn't mind the idea of playing Metu too if it kind of works out that way that we end up with them. But I think the 2 bench guys, Jones and Ramsey, would be a good start. And then I think the Paul George and Murray that's probably the most sensible, next 2 in line, and then kind of build out from there.
So the interesting thing is I locked George and I locked Murray, but then it gave me everybody else in our game. So
right, yeah.
I don't think you're okay with that.
Like that.
Yeah,
It's like we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do it like this, kind of. I wouldn't mind going Reggie Jackson if we have the space.
What's an acceptable number for Reggie Jackson? What's a usable fantasy point outcome for Reggie Jackson? His price matters to some degree. Like 30 is 30. Usable, you think?
Yeah, 32.
I'm seeing his ownership dropped a good bit. Are you guys seeing that?
Yeah, because the George being in, and it's like 7.5, and he's priced for the usage that he's been taking up with George out. So but again, 2-game slate and stuff happens.
Yeah, Podol and Zubac would be 2 other fine options, I think. We'll have Damian Jones, I guess, in the center spot, so we could only potentially play 1 more. Wait, are we doing this on DraftKings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me take it.
By the way, Ibaka is available to play, and he's 3K on DK. If you want another piece of that game, is that interesting to you at all? Or, it's Ibaka, and he's been terrible all year and whatever. But,
Wouldn't Mr. Ibaka be better on FanDuel?
I don't know. Well, FanDuel's probably even looser as far as the cap. I assume it is. I haven't worked it out on this 2-gamer, but
Not that crazy.
what can Ibaka possibly do? Just trying to think. What kind of number could he put up? And he opens up
20,
Curry.
22, 23.
Yeah, 18 minutes projected.
I mean, they're without
wouldn't-
Hartenstein and they're without Morris, so like there is a path.
Yeah, I do kind of like Zubac. But yeah, in terms of there's not really nobody on that bench I'm that interested in on the Clippers side.
No,
Got
Well, they
a,
have too many
McDermott
guys.
will play.
they
Yeah,
have a slew of players. Just yeah,
got a Devin
On the-
Vassell mention.
yeah. Him or Lonnie are both like they would be fine options at the very very end. Even Doug McDermott, crazier things.
yeah. I mean, he's back, which mucks up those fringe players, as well. And San Antonio is fully healthy. Everything that's going on, San Antonio is a fully healthy roster.
And they have a
yeah,
player
so
named
just-
Jock Landale.
I don't know who Jock Landale is, but that sounds like a character from like Anchorman or something like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Jock Landale.
Keach, what
He
do you
does the
think
weather
of
in
Kuminga
Chicago.
starting for Golden State? Flores Mark wants to get your opinions.
I mean, he's fine, but you're going to need him to score, and he's probably not going to be really counted on. Although I don't know, with no Wiggins, obviously there's still a lot to go around there. Same with no Poole.
We got that a
3-5,
fumble
I mean,
by the Bears, by the way. I don't not to cut
Again?
you off, but the Bears fumbled, and Minnesota's got the ball on their own 10 with 9 minutes to go in
Man.
the second. Montgomery, I believe, was the fumbler.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's rough. Could have used the Bears touchdown.
2
And
fumbles.
another
yeah.
catch for Jefferson just for 5 yards or so. Go ahead, Keach.
Yeah, I mean, not going to win this Bears bet. They just keep fumbling every possession. But on Kuminga, I mean, he's not probably going to give you a whole lot besides points. But I mean, at 3-5, it's not crazy by any means.
Will he get
feel like
garbage
I'm-
time run in our Golden State Sacramento blowout game script?
For sure. Yeah.
He
He's a
may.
candidate.
Yeah. He's one of those guys. I love the players. It depends on the situation, but Keach, you get it every once in a while. Guys that are starting, but also have a path to close in a shellacking. And I think he's one of those guys. Like, I don't think Porter is necessarily a guy that would close when they're down 25. He's an older guy. They've done some, have body management for him throughout the season. Iguodala, the same idea. I guess Chioza would close.
Damian
it's
Lee
ugly.
could. But
Yeah. I mean, certainly, they would get Green off the court. They would get Curry off the court. Looney wouldn't close. Yeah, Toscano Anderson could.
yeah, he probably would be out there. So what do we have left with, assuming we start with the 2 Sacramento values and the 2 high-end plays in the other game?
So we got George, Murray, Jones, and Ramsey. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That leaves us.
Smith Marset just missed a deep pass down the sideline. He was my cheapie on DK. That's a bummer. Almost like a 40-yarder, kind of in his hands, but well played by the defender. Good for him.
58.50 left per position.
So 58.50. So I imagine.
Are you screen sharing this, Devin? Did the people see this?
No, I'll be whenever I screen share the building.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually on my laptop for the lineup HQ.
Gotcha.
So let's say we go like Derek White as well.
Murray and White.
Yeah.
Got power forward, and util. 56.33 remaining per.
All right. Let's say
Now
we go.
we can't fill everything out though, right? Technically, is that so? We got to leave a couple.
Yeah,
for the
I guess
imagination, or-
technically the rules apply.
Let's say theoretically, we then were to put total in the utility spot. How much do we have left?
Let's see. If Podol's in there, gives us 53.50 left,
Okay.
which gives us. There's a good bit of options still on the board. Somebody was asking
Yeah, I mean, I
about
wouldn't-
Batum over Metu. Thoughts on that?
I don't like it, but there's crazier things have happened.
Ownership difference
I think-
between the two is like 45 points.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind either like Jackson, Kennard, or Man, like whatever works out there. I like Kennard a little bit more. So they'd be fine. And yeah, you could throw Kuminga in there, and although no, I probably wouldn't want to do that. Still don't hate the going fake belly, but
Fake belly.
yeah, I don't know.
Let's see if
I
he's.
still don't mind the Metu thing. Like he's another guy who's like.
I mean, we got
could
Ramsey
theoretically
in
play
there,
blowout.
so if we got the. Let's see.
Well, Ramsey is more of a he'd be the guy that kind of backs up one of the two guards.
Yeah, I'm just saying for low owned plays in the lineup already, he's 0.7% projected.
Yeah,
Metu's going to be like 70% owned, by the way. Just like if you just don't play him, he's going to be so popular for justifiably so. But it's also like he's not this great player, and we're just banking on him playing a bunch of minutes. And yeah,
if we went like Steph, is that even an option?
Let's see. Let me see if we can move anybody around.
I kind of like that. I kind of like we could fit Steph in there. Like there's we could go Ibaka like toward the minimum or.
No, I think we've got too many guards in this one already for Steph. We have Murray and White in there as well. Do you want to take one of those out?
I kind of don't. If we went like not Poe, I kind of don't like that either.
I mean, Steph's got quite the price tag. If we're assuming that game doesn't stay close, surely he's going to have a hand in it. But that price tag leaves some room for him to not get there.
He's got the price tag, but he's also got raw points. He's probably going to be the raw points leader. Like not definitely, but good chance. And that might be what you need, right? Like it's like, okay, if you don't play Steph, where are you delegating that salary? I guess Paul George, sure.
Yeah.
And
which we've got George, we've got Murray,
well.
so which are the
that's basically what we're angling for. Which I kind of like that in a 2-game slate. Like I think we just kind of need to fill out with Clippers pieces pretty much. Just depends on what those are. So
yeah, the problem is like none of them are good, right? Like none of them like look good, I guess you can say. But that's doesn't mean you can't play them. But
I mean,
I don't like Zubac. Zubac, you figure big on big, and San Antonio on the other side, they're gonna have what's his name out there? I'm losing his name for some reason.
We just couldn't do it because we couldn't have 3 centers, right? We either need to choose between Podol or Zubac. I wouldn't mind going Zubac either, but it depends on what flexibility that would give. I'm gonna actually. I still got
I feel like I'd rather have Podol than Zubac.
So would I, but if I end up with anything else on the San Antonio side, could have some merit to go back that other way.
I do think if people are just clicking optimize and like putting 5 kings, I don't want to say it's not, almost definitely is not going to be the answer. Like that seems unlikely that 5 kings is what lands in the I understand why they're sprinkling there. Obviously, it makes total sense, but I feel like the winner's not going to have 5 kings in it. I guess is what I'm saying. Maybe 3, possibly 4.
I think,
but 5. No.
Get Lonnie Walker in there. You think that's too much Spurs usage in that same lineup?
Oh, that's why I was like, I'd prefer to have somebody from the Clippers in there. Like even Batum, if we have to throw him in there, I don't mind that.
Walker he get hot. Like he's got to score. That's how he gets there. And if he's scoring, he stays in the court for a bit. And if he's not, he gets a quick hook. It's pretty straightforward with Walker. Bears ball. Fields, nice pass there. Is that Montgomery out of the backfield? We got a 3rd and 3 inside Minnesota territory, about the 40, 45.
That's Khalil Herbert sighting already?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I don't think that was Montgomery.
Oh, my bad. Oh, that was Herbert. You're right.
Jeez, Dean.
Well, I mean, they don't like the jersey wasn't.
Sometimes I feel like the cameras do like like just expertly change as soon as you're about to see the back of the jersey to catch who is actually, whoever had the actual play. Camera cuts and you miss it immediately. So no Lonnie, we vetoed that one. If we're trying to get Clippers players in, Batum sort of fits right in there.
He does, yeah. That's kind of what I'm kind of ending up on, it feels like.
That leaves 6,200 left for a forward position.
It sounds like you're thrilled to play Batum. I can hear it in your voice, Keach.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think anybody's ever been excited about him, right?
The lineup I have now is 4 of them. And I'm like, I don't know if I like that.
I think that was a Wildcat play. Wasn't that Fields in motion? Did not work.
What else could I do here? Clippers. It's got too many. I did end up with Damian Lee here as well.
Leaving money on the table with that one?
Oh, no, actually, I'm not. Would be Keldon, Damian Lee, and Batum would be the last 3 spots from what we had talked about. But I don't know if I'm going to stick on that or not.
Lee is starting, by the way. I don't know if you missed that or not.
Ooh.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
They started Lee. Yeah, Lee and Kuminga are starting for Poole and Wiggins.
Yeah.
So I guess are we at a comfortable spot leaving this with 1 spot open with 6,200 remaining? I don't want to fill it out for the viewers, but some people were asking for the lineup so they can tail for fun.
I think that's fine, yeah.
All right, I'll plug this
There's
in.
a guy that used to play for Golden State that now plays for Sacramento that you could maybe use that for. Yeah.
Who could that be?
I don't know.
Did he wave the towel a lot? When he was on Golden State, I feel like he waved the towel a lot. Am I thinking of somebody else? I think Kent Bazemore. I think that's what I'm thinking of. I guess he was kind of sort of somewhat useful at Golden State, but
he got paid. I mean, depends which guy you're talking about. There's multiple players on this Golden State team that used to play for the Kings, and I think vice versa as well.
All right. Got the lineup on the screen share. Showing everybody here. Leave 6,200.
Our boy Nemanja used to play for the Kings, first of all.
Yeah.
Belly?
And then, Belly. Jones. I just feel like there's somebody else, too.
By the way, the Jazz up to an 11-2 right out the gate. That was the team they hammered tonight. Hopefully, famous last words. 11.5 points I thought was just not enough in this game. I think they're going to blow them out. As far as the football game, we got 3rd and 6, and we're going to run it. And they're probably going to go for this. They should. It's like 4th and 1, 4th and 2, maybe 4th and 1.5 at about. What yard line are we at? 27 or something?
I'm behind. I don't think you get. I could see.
You gotta go for this. I mean, they're down 10-0. Like, once they put points on the board or something, we gotta go for this. Come on.
I mean, looks like they're going for it. But obviously, the Vikings still have possession here, or will.
Yeah. They are acting as if they're gonna run a play. 4th and 1. He's gone this year, right? Nagy, that's like basically unspoken at this point, but whoa, what a pass. That was some touch, man. Fields with a beautiful pass. Nice catch by Montgomery, too. Well covered. They got the first down. About 10-ish yards down the field.
Oh, wow.
All right.
You see that pass?
That did not look like a play that was going to succeed.
That looked like a terrible play on 4th and 1. But it worked.
Got a minute and a half to the next flash draft. We can get ourselves a third quarter one started.
And who gets the ball first in the second half again?
I think Bears do, right?
Yes.
The Bears do. That is correct. All right, let's make a game of it here. It's good. They're on the 13-yard line, first down. And is it 2-minute warning? Is that what we're looking at? Yeah, 2-minute warning.
Oh, wow. Just got a replay of that Montgomery catch.
Yeah, that was a 4th and 1 play. And it's like, well played all around, but it seemed like a, I don't know, low percentage play for 4th and 1.
I mean, the go for it crowd has to be like champing at the bit for that play, right?
You just wanted to say champion, like
I got to weave in champing with a reference to the go for it crowd. It's just so topical. I love it.
Go for it. I'm a part of that. Go for it. I feel like you're mocking me or something like that. I'm team go for it. Team never punts.
I'm being facetious, but honestly, I kind of agree. I was doing the pregame show earlier with Blender, and he and James McCool were going off on rants about all the commentators that had, they know exactly how you're supposed to play it, and usually it's the exact opposite of everybody watching the TV says how to play it.
Dusty Phil Simmons wouldn't know what a calculator is and smacked him right in the face. I don't know, man. But we'll talk about the Baltimore thing, and that was interesting because Harbaugh did it the wrong way. Like he didn't. I mean, I'm sure Keach you have a thought in this. I presume you have a thought in this, but when they were down 14, they scored a touchdown, and the analytics book says you're supposed to go for 2 and to make it a 6-point game or an 8-point game, and you kind of figure it out from there, depending on what happens there. But you're supposed to go for it then, the 2. And they went for the 1, and then they went for 2 at the end, and they lost. We saw, but like, it's just so weird that he did it the reverse way. So he knows 2 points is an option. He's aware that's a thing, but I don't know. Keith, do you have a thought on that? Are you a team analytics?
I sometimes there's a weird part of me that sometimes in those moments, I think sometimes they just forget. Like, I think they just don't think about it quick enough. Like, you only really have 30 seconds or whatever to make that. So I think sometimes that happens. But yeah, because it's bizarre that somebody that is especially going to go for 2 at the ends of games like that wouldn't be aggressive in a spot where it's like just clearly the right math decision to go.
They have a chart. There's like a chart that every coach has. And like, just have a guy, hire one guy. That's the only job is you tell them, like, there's a math guy. It's all you got to do is tell us when you're supposed to go for it or not. Like, that's it.
The chart translator.
You have one job.
It's not hard, right?
I think Bill Simmons talked about it years ago. Like somebody, like a Madden expert, somebody who plays a lot of Madden football, like that guy tells you about, like we saw yesterday with Mike Tomlin. I don't know if you saw this, but in the first half, there was like 2 minutes to go, and like the other team was Tennessee. You were watching this game, Devin, and Tennessee was driving, and they were at like the 5, the 15, with less than 2 minutes to go, and Tomlin's got 3 timeouts.
Yeah,
and just call the timeouts. You're going to get the ball back with a minute and a half or whatever it is. And Tennessee, killed the clock, and then Pittsburgh, they get the ball with like 20 seconds ago, and they took 3 timeouts into the locker. Like, what's the point, man? What are you doing? He's been coaching for like 20 years.
Yeah, the thinking was that like you're saving your timeouts for a drive after you get the ball, but the clock isn't going to be remaining when you get the ball, so the timeouts aren't going to matter. You're still only going to be able to fit in 1 or 2 plays.
And I think he just took a knee. I'm pretty sure they said, screw it, let's just take a knee and go to halftime. And it's just so weird. Like Tomlin knows so much more about football than I do. It's not even close. But that I know, like that, I could just be like, okay, I understand the math here, and all these guys are. I know we like to pretend we're smarter than them, but
we love to. We love to pretend we're smarter.
Well, everybody's just like, I can't believe you called that, and it's like, well, these guys are smart, and there's also smart guys like calling defensive plays too. Like there's smart guys on both sides. I don't know if you saw a particular situation, Keach, but it was driving me nuts. It's like, it's not even a DFS thing. It's just like you're watching the game, and like it's bothering me that they don't know to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that one is certainly weird. I think there is something to be said though, that the people that play Madden religiously, like, you just have to learn to become a good time manager. Like there is some benefit to doing that in terms of like learning when to use them. I thought I think it was Greg Olson I forget what broadcast it was, but he was explaining to the other guy like why teams use the timeouts on the plus side of the 2-minute warning, because you can ensure it just gets down to that 2-minute mark, or you can take your timeout, the 2-minute warning gets down to the 2 minutes and doesn't run past that. If they're running the play, you get down to 155, 156, or whatever. So just like even those little things, like I wonder how many coaches even know that. Like I imagine most of them, but I bet you there's some that don't.
I 100%. And like, why is that not part of the interview process? By the way, 3rd and 24 for Chicago, they just completed like a 22-yard pass.
Was that?
And also Grant
went
to the locker room.
Yeah, just saw that.
No, that was not a 22-yard pass. That was I thought that was a different sticks. Now it's 4th and 13. Never mind. It was like a 12-yard pass completion. So they're gonna kick the field goal. Minnesota out of timeouts. I don't know if they were calling him here. I wasn't paying attention. How did Minnesota lose all their timeouts?
They were calling them.
They were, okay. There you go. Good job, Minnesota.
Well, and talking about things that maybe coaches don't know about, it feels like sometimes they don't know that you get more timeouts after halftime. Sometimes I wonder.
Or you can't keep your 3 from the first half and bring them to the second half.
They don't roll over.
It's not like T-Mobile minutes.
Yeah.
But that would be a cool idea. Like if you can somehow carry them over and have 6 in the second half. I don't know if that'd be good or bad, but yeah, depending on situations and all that. But
it would be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, easy carrying. I believe you got a lot of coaches that were carrying them over.
Oh, all right. I assume you guys aren't in this flash draft. I completely forgot to join in the second one. So we'll get into the next one. We got the whole half.
I missed my first 2 picks.
Yeah, we've got halftime, so we don't have to exactly rush it. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on the timing.
By the way, Embiid 24, 6 and 5, end of 3. Freedom 10 and 8. Smart 14, 4 and 2. Tatum 15, 8 and 6, which is fine. Brown 22, 4 and 4. That's pretty solid. Smart 14, 4 and 2. Chicago's destroying Houston. White started the second half, and he's going to be the guy that crushes tonight. He's at 11 and 3. He's taking that Caruso spot. It's probably the last of the starters. If this game gets out of hand, that was the play. Kobe White looks like it. Houston now down. Yeah, we talked about it on the show earlier, and I was thinking about playing some of him, and unfortunately, I did not get there. I can say Utah is up 21-6 versus Charlotte, so just wallop them, Utah. Keep it going. OKC and Memphis. OKC keeping this game at least like 65 to 70 points closer than the last time they played. They're actually ahead by 2 with 3 minutes into the second half. Giddey is crushing. Good for him. 14, 5 and 6. Almost got that triple dub last time out.
They were getting smoked earlier. Well, last time I saw that game, Memphis was up like 13.
Yeah, they were up 28 to 16 at the end of 1, but OKC closed strong in the second half. Hey, you know this. I saw Favors and Robinson Earl starting together. Is that something they've done this year? Or I just miss it? I thought they haven't done that. They've done it before?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was new, right?
Yeah, they're always weird with Favors starting as he nice. I mean, because like Robinson Earl can play center, but he can also play the 4. So yeah, Oklahoma City's weird. Their front court is such a mess to project.
They don't care.
No. Mike Muscala in there. Although I'll always love Mike Muscala. He's the only reason the Sixers have Tyrese Maxey. So
was he traded for Maxey? How did Maxey become a Sixer? Was he drafted by the Sixers? I don't remember.
Maxey was drafted by the Sixers. The only reason we had that pick, we would have given that pick to Oklahoma City, but in the last game of the season, they needed to lose, and they were down 2 with like 2 seconds left. Mike Muscala hit a game-winning 3 to win them the game at the last game of the regular season, and then which guaranteed that the Sixers would keep their pick, and then the Sixers ended up drafting Maxey with that pick.
Interesting. It's wild that stuff happens.
Right.
Now, would it have rolled over to the next year, or that was it? That's it. Like they don't get the pick, and
it was
sometimes it expires, right?
It was I think it was protected inside the top whatever. He was the 21st pick, so I don't know. It might have just I forget exactly what it was like the letter of the law was for that, but yeah, there was something where the Oklahoma City could not have won that last game and gotten the pick, and Mike Muscala hit a 3 to end it.
Were you guys watching the game feed just a little bit ago? You saw the guy walking around with a pizza.
That was Lou Malnati's, the famous deep dish place in Chicago.
That pizza looked disgusting.
Really? Oh wow! You have a hot. So you're not. Have you had Chicago style pizza?
I've had, and I'm not, not explicitly anti-Chicago style pizza, but that one looked like. My wife and I do this jokey thing when we get done with dinner, and like it's gonna be this delicious dinner, but it looks terrible, right? Just the presentation,
okay.
like a loaded nacho plate, right? You can do that in a way that it is delicious, but it doesn't necessarily look great. You know what I mean?
Well, no, it's presented nicely, but after like 3 very, very quickly, the presentation's lost. I guess because like I'm not a fan of like guac or sour cream, but like a dollop of it dresses it nicely. Oh yeah. Wow, almost a little sack with a fumble there. Nice play there by Chicago, but Minnesota did recover it. But when you say No, we got a minute to go because Minnesota, they're
I'm
calling
watching the G
timeout.
League.
So,
45 seconds for flash draft, by the way.
oh, so you're watching the G League? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's on ESPN too.
Wow.
Like, is it for real the G League or is it like the OKC or something?
It's the
What
G
in the
League.
world? Okay, you guys got to see this pass by Kirk Cousins. You got to see this play. Like, obviously, a receiver fell down. You got to see what just happened here. I guess a receiver fell down or his miscommunication. This was wild.
I hope it results in something good for the Bears.
I got to see the all 11 on this one or all 22 on this one because this is, I mean, what's going on here?
I see him looking a little confused. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Flash draft starting, by the way.
Oh, a receiver fell down for the record, by the way, but like the Jefferson fell down. And have you seen this play yet, Keach?
I'm watching it. Perfect pass. Did he catch it? Nice. Is there a flag? Because that definitely looked like holding on whoever.
There
was
is
on
no
there.
flag, as far as I can tell. Like the safety was like it was receiving a punt.
Yeah, I mean, but whoever was covering Jefferson, that was just blatantly a penalty.
Hey man, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, and that's Jefferson, man. We got to do what we can.
So
Yeah,
this
I mean,
is
I'll take it.
this is going to be 2 picks now that Dean's missed on this flash draft, right?
Oh, I forgot to sign up.
Oh well, that's good for
I
you
think
then.
they forgave me. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Well, so given that Grant's not here, I'll hang around. I guess I'm just gonna try to rush through some of that NFL file later on. And honestly, I feel like the one thing I've realized that spending 6 or 7 hours on Monday night during this COVID stuff is probably the dumbest thing I could possibly do. So I'll probably put in a little more elbow grease tomorrow and Wednesday. It's like, this past week, like I just wasted time. Like it's just, why am I even doing this? Everything changed.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
if this game stays, snooze fest, maybe we can end after the third quarter, so you have some time to get to work. Don't want to keep you from the important stuff here, Keach.
Yeah, I'll be all right either way. I have a 10:40 flight tomorrow, which for me is absurdly early. And yeah, I think if all goes well, I should get to bed by like 5:30 tonight.
Can you hit me with that
3
time
hours
again?
of sleep. Huh?
What was that hour?
Devin can't believe it. You guys live in 2 different worlds.
I know, I want to hear it because
Keach this, by the way.
I heard that's
10:40.
10:40.
Yeah, it's a late flight. That's an early flight.
That is so good. I wake up at like
Yes.
8:30 and I'm like, oh my god, I've slept in. Oh my god.
I'm so jealous of that. I would love to be able to get on some sort of a relatively normal sleep schedule. If I go to bed I'm probably going to bed like an hour before you get up most days.
Probably, yeah. I mean, if I'm up till like midnight, I'm like, oh my god, you guys, I'm gonna feel so sick tomorrow.
These shows got to be a killer then.
I definitely plan my Tuesdays, that's for sure. The funny thing is, last week we got done, or no, it was the week before because we took off last Monday night. The last Monday that we had a show, I went to sleep. I woke up Tuesday morning and literally like right here outside this window, there were dudes at like 7 a.m. with power sanders just going to town on the wall right next to me. And I woke up upset. I was not happy. Yeah, because like I said, I'm trying to plan a time that I can actually get a little extra hour of sleep in, and yeah, I poke my head, I pull the blinds up and I look out and I see them just like standing there right there next to me, and I took like 10 or 15 minutes just to kind of breathe, and then I opened the window and I was like, hey guys, I don't want to be that guy, but I was like, maybe next time a little later than 7 a.m.
Was it legit 7 a.m.?
You people go to jail for that.
I Googled. The first thing I did, I Googled, what is unacceptable for early hour noise? And they were like, generally 7 a.m. till 11 p.m. is a good window of time. And I was just like, no, 7 a.m. is too early.
Way too early.
Especially when they are right there. I kid you not. I could reach out this window right now and touch where they were with this power sander.
What were they sanding?
They were getting the paint off the side of this house next to me, but I obviously they're never going to know that they're right next to a bedroom, but just zero consideration, it seems.
Oh, and how long? What was the window? They did it from 7 a.m. to what?
Oh, they were out there probably until 1 p.m. Like they were going to town. But after I had woken up and gotten over it, I was like, all right, look, you guys just do what you got to do. I'm up now. I'm not going to go back to sleep.
1
you can do
p.m.
it from
Like, if you're done at 1 p.m., start at 10 a.m.
9.
You'll be done at 3.
Go 9 to 3.
Yeah, shift the hours slightly.
We live in a society.
We live in a society. Dean, I can't help but crack up every time I see the episode of Seinfeld where they're talking about what makes them thirsty. It's not crackers.
These pretzels are making
pretzels.
Me thirsty.
The way that George says it, I could literally anytime I'm having a bad day, I could think about that scene where George just they all take turns saying it right with their own individual cadence, and of course George is just pure anxiety, panic, fear. It's just so funny.
So Kramer has a walk on one line in a movie, and he says Woody Allen movie, I think, and his line is, "These pretzels are making me thirsty," and they're just kind of bouncing it off each other. Yeah.
And George just goes, "These pretzels, they're making me thirsty."
It's one of the greatest characters in television history. The Costanza character.
If
you're gonna power rank, what's that?
Both of them.
Oh,
Kramer too.
They're both great.
I think Kramer's a little one-dimensional.
I know. I think
it's an archetype.
What was that pass from Cousins? What is that? Did you guys see? It doesn't matter. It was the last play of the half. But he's throwing the ball 10 yards out of bounds.
That's something he doesn't want to throw a pick.
I that had to be it, right? He's already signed his contract.
Yeah, that's something he doesn't want to throw a pick.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
An NBA player doesn't want to put up a shot for the end of the buzzer. That's exactly.
He knew I had the Bears in my lineup. That's why.
That's my favorite thing to watch.
He could have thrown a lead.
When a team gets scored on with 1 second left to go and they inbound the ball, and they always wait for the horn and then they throw it, and every once in a while they'll make it. And oh man, I guess I should have actually thrown it, because intentionally, like you said, they don't want that to hurt their field goal percentage.
There's nothing that drives me. If I was a coach, I would be screaming at players who did not get that shot up. If it's close, you're over the course of a season, you're surely costing us points at some point, and they might mean something. So don't be an asshole and worry about your field goal percentage, you selfish.
This feels like it's on the same line of thinking.
End of the season. I have not signed a long-term. I'm a free agent at the end of the season. I have to negotiate, and if I shoot 7 of these, and that hurts my 3-point percentage in the season, that could be the difference between a $1 million contract and a $5 million contract. I don't know.
Listen, write it down.
I get it.
Keep a little check thing, and each time you shoot one, mark it down, and then when you go to your contract, be like, hey, I took these shots while all these other guys didn't. Gave us a chance to score points. This is how many I missed. This would be my percentage if I was these other assholes.
It's not a bad way to cover your bases with it. But I hear whispers of the go for it crowd conversation in this. Of course you need to take that shot. Yeah. Why wouldn't you take that shot? You're basically banking on not winning. You take that shot and you make it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky analytics.
Michael Scott. My other favorite thing to watch in basketball is when a team is up 15, 20, whatever it is, end of the game. They have the ball in their possession with 30 seconds to go, 24-second shot clock, and the players kind of whoever gets stuck with the ball and gets the turnover, the delay game or whatever it is, or shot clock violation.
Right.
It's always funny because they always give it to the rookie. A vet holds it. 1 second left to go, he throws to the rookie. The rookie's what are you're the rookie, man. You can't, and if you shoot, it's disrespectful. So you have to
it looks good for them, passing the ball. Got some good ball movement, and then they're the one that has the hot pocket, or the hot.
It is the funniest
potato.
thing to watch, though, because it's a thing. It's just great. I don't know.
I do that in NBA 2K. I'm not going to take the penalty for turnover.
Well, wait, you're NBA 2K. You're being disrespectful. You're scoring more points, right?
Well, that's the thing is if you have the ball when the shot clock runs out, you get a penalty on your teammate rating. Whereas if you pass the ball, you get a little bonus for passing the ball, good ball movement. You're playing like a good teammate. Your stat
This is just
fill
news
in
to
the
me.
stat
I'm
boxes.
still taking in. You play NBA 2K? Like you have a season long thing going?
Yeah, it's from an older one. I think it's from like 2K19 or 2K20. But yeah,
Who's your team?
Milwaukee. We have two seasons under our belt now.
You say our? It's a team effort.
Well, Dean, I'm on a team. There is no I in team.
Your player coach. Why'd you pick Milwaukee, or did you like randomly get a team?
There were like 4 that you could choose from, and I was filling the role of point guard, so I figured I would fit in nicely with a big like Giannis.
Oh, you created a player and you created yourself?
I did, yes.
Now, how? What kind of wingspan did you kind of cheat?
Oh, I always make it accurate. I am fine to be a little tiny guy on the court.
5'7", 150.
Yeah, I'm the
that about
smallest dude running around out there. That's fine.
What's your skill set? Well, who's your comp? Who's your player comp?
Oh man, I guess it would be a mix of like Dame and DDR. I think were the two that I mixed in. Some good
again,
range.
Just to reiterate, you're always accurate with your. Just to reiterate,
Always accurate, and I can drive to the basket anytime I need to. And yes, when the shot clock's running down, I'm going to pass the ball so I don't get a penalty.
Just had somebody tweet me asking like, "Hey man, what happened to the chat? What up, YouTube? You guys are watching us on YouTube chat? Yeah, the chat has been currently disabled. We're in the RotoGrinders Discord. It is a free channel on rotogrinders.com/Discord. Feel free to chime in there, whatever's on your mind. I know, Devin, you're keeping an eye on it. And you want to go into the free live stream channel. There are some premium channels for premium members. This is free to everyone. Earlier today, we had a Grant give out some winners for player props. I don't know how they went.
He might have been mid food poisoning during those.
I want to like make fun of him, but at the same time, like I want to be sensitive. Like, what if
he's probably actually in a lot of pain right now.
Yeah. What's the line there, Keats? Can we make fun of him or he can't? We got to make sure he's like, hope he's not rushed to the hospital or anything like that. Like, I don't know what the level's at, but he seems to be.
I think it depends a lot upon who the person is, and given that Grant is the person we're talking about, who just makes fun of people relentlessly sometimes, I think we can afford to give him a little bit, and I think he'll be all right.
We'll just let him give you a couple of extra suck it Daniels next week.
Yeah,
we'll make up for it.
This is he's I'm not here. I'm not like
with the
doing a Mr. Burns like celebratory like excited about this happening, but it's a good foil for it to happen to Grant for sure. But again, I'm not rooting for it by any means.
And the creative player, it's my player is what it's called in 2K. That's like the career mode.
Yeah,
Flores.
I was talking to somebody else, a friend of mine, who did a similar thing, and like he made himself out to be a. It's like you got to be a little realistic.
Then you don't. It's a video game.
Yeah, Dean, come on.
Have some fun, man.
I'm a DDR Dame mix, Dean. Come on.
So, Keith, when you create a player and it's after your name, are you like 7'2" and like you can dribble like Steph? Like,
no. I did this actually. I think the last time I did this, it's probably been like 5 years, maybe. I think it was 2K 2015, so 6 years ago. I did, and I created my own player. I think I was like, I'm about 6'2", so I think I made my guy about 6'6", 6'7", and he was a point guard. And my entire goal was to try to average a triple-double over the course of the season. I played 81 of the 82 games. I had the points, assists, rebounds all in hand pretty easily, but I was also trying to average 1 steal and 1 block, and I was averaging 0.9 blocks. And I still to this day have not played the 82nd game because I don't want to not get the block and end up below the.
I love that. I love that. That's so ridiculous. That's
so
amazing.
Dumb. Yeah. For like, I got that game, I think in 26, like I bought it when it was, I think a year old maybe. I'm not like a big video game guy, so I just wanted a basketball game to play. And I think I played that game up until maybe like 2 years ago. So I got a lot of run out of a 1 year game. So.
I mean, to be fair, they don't do a whole lot of updating between those games.
No, Madden's the worst. I buy Madden every year just because I do online franchise with my friends from home, and I play.
It's a sucker thing, though, isn't it?
We're such suckers for buying EA's bullshit every year with this. They never update the franchise stuff. It's just like I play this game and I'll do like I like doing starting with like the Lions and trying to rebuild them and just do simulations. And I can't get through like a half an hour playing the game without like the EA Sports thing kicking me off. You gotta like reconnect. hop back on. It's like, how do you guys not have this figured out? You've been running this video game for 100 fucking years. Like, figure it out. It's not that hard. People are buying it. Like, just put a little bit of effort. Get like 2 people. Easiest.
Change
Yeah,
change the main voice of your My Player just one time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even when I hear that guy, like the announcer on Madden, like he was doing some broadcast yesterday, and it just makes it one of the 2 guys, and I can't.
Was it Kevin Harlan? I feel like Kevin Harlan's is he the main guy, or I feel like he was the guy at one point?
yeah,
I think Kevin Harlan was for one of the NBA games, right?
Yeah,
he might be.
Yeah, no, that's
Harlan's great, by the way.
I think that's why I remember it.
Yeah. I think it's
he can do radio. He's one of the best announcers we have. Like for some reason, I feel like he's not rated as highly as he should be, or not thought of as like this elite announcer, but he's awesome.
Yeah, I do. I'm coming around a little bit on Greg Olsen. There's like something about his voice is kind of weird. Like, I don't know. And like, the whole like him at Miami thing, like it's just kind of hard to picture him as like the serious like in-game analyst now.
Well, he's grown up since like he was in college. Yeah, I mean there was a part of the there's like a rap song, and I don't remember if he was singing, but the something like crew, like a certain level, the floor, something floor crew, right? Can't remember what it was, some kind of floor crew. But yeah,
he was third like Greg.
That was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it was.
And I like Greg Olsen was awesome in the NFL. I'm coming around on him a little bit. I forget which game he was calling yesterday, but whatever one it was, I was watching that for a little while.
I've heard good things. I haven't caught one where he's commentating on it. I seem to always catch the Chris Collinsworth ones, which is just lovely.
You know, I love it.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
He sounds like he always is like dealing with a cold. He's so nasally. Like you get, I don't know why.
His son's
like, it's comforting to me.
His son's voice is like the same voice. It's almost nauseating.
He does something with NBC, right? Like, I think he's a part of the Sunday Night Show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, your Sixers are losing to the Celtics currently. 5 minutes left to go, down by 6. Embiid at 28, 8 and 5. Freedom got his double-double, 12 and 10. And Brown at 25, 5 and 4. Tatum 17, 8 and 6. Chicago still beating up on Houston, up by 17. Christian Wood, good game, 23 and 11, but he might not get his last rotation. OKC still up on Memphis. Utah up by 16 on Charlotte, 40 to 24. What do we have as far as halftime, Keach? Anything interesting as far as the lines? Minnesota is up 10 to 3. We do have Chicago get the ball first in the second half. You see anything interesting as far as the sports books?
I will say the Bears, for as much as I gave them a hard time for not being able to do anything offensively, they've been able to put some drives together. They just can't finish them. They've fumbled twice, and then the end of that last possession just missed a wide open throw. They've been this game has looked fairly even so far. Minnesota has not looked good on offense. They're not, of course, Mike Zimmer's not taking advantage of the clear holes they have in secondary at the first drive, or the second drive where they scored a touchdown. So I'm looking right now, plus 375 for the Bears. Like, that seems about right on MGM. They are plus 7.5, minus 105 there, which I do kind of like that number. That's what I was praying was going to show up before kickoff. It never did. 7 was as good as it got. So I don't mind plus 7.5 with them down 10-3 and about to get the ball to start. They can finally finish a drive and not fumble or set up field goals. If they tie it up, that'll change pretty quick.
All right. Let's see. Anything else interesting happening in basketball? Not really. Any sort of close games. And Embiid's crushing, by the way, as expected. He's at 30 actual real points. A much better play than Vuk is. Like Vuk, and I saw Vuk popping in some stuff, and I forced myself to play some Embiid. But again, that's all for naught because you played Caruso alongside him. That's kind of a bummer.
We were talking about earlier Grant's props that he dropped in there. Apparently he gave up Podol over rebounds and Giddey over assists, and they both have already hit.
Well, wait, Pirtle hasn't started yet.
Or no, sorry, Giddey has already hit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Giddey's he's having a really solid game. End of 3, he's at 14, 5, and 7. Was 5? 4? Is that over for his rebounds? That seems like a low number. If that's what it was.
I know he gave out Tate's was over. I think he's already over that one. I think it was 4.5, 3.5, and he's at 5 already.
16, 5, and 6. That's good because who knows how long we stick around for this game. They're currently on most
wow.
of the subs, and they're down by 20 with a minute to go. I'm trying to make some swaps to see if I can salvage some stuff because I have Otto Porter in some lineups. I'm probably going to move off of. I don't know. I don't think it matters, but
Damian Jones.
Yeah.
Well, you can't put him in a forward spot, obviously.
I don't have any center spots because I played a ton of Embiid and I played Freedom and Embiid in most lineups. So, yeah, my options are limited now, unfortunately. What are you going to do? There's Otto Porter, Harry Barnes.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm so excited for. Can I get like a Damian Jones prop anywhere?
What do you expect? You're just
oddly
expecting
excited.
some mop-up duty, I guess?
Yeah, and I mean, he looked good at the end of the game in time where like the Kings were, the game was tight, and he was out there and was producing.
Yeah.
So the fact that he could be used in a close game and would be likely to be used in a blowout, like Tristan Thompson against the Warriors, just makes no sense. Not that Damian Jones playing really does either. But, makes more.
They're both
sense.
dead, basically. Yeah.
All right.
I get it.
There is a Damian Jones over 7.5 points, plus 105 on DraftKings. Let's see if there's a rebound. There is over 4.5 plus 105. I might be getting on some Damian Jones.
Hey man, that's I get it. I hear you.
It's not because it's going to be something that probably doesn't, if it hits, won't hit till the fourth quarter, because that's probably what I'll be playing the most often. But I mean, the guys ahead of him on the Kings bench, like there's really nobody in the front court, obviously, but it's like they have Mo Harkless, Jameis Ramsey, and Justin Robinson as the three bench options there, and then Tristan Thompson's the starting center. Like, there's a world where he plays 20 minutes or more than that, 20, 25.
Yeah.
He played 19. He played almost 20 last night. Ended up with 39 fantasy points. That's all. Jeez, I didn't realize that. 23 and 8 he had last night. He had a 36% usage rate. Good Lord. I wouldn't expect that to continue.
Adam Sandler, is that good?
That's good.
Morant, by the way, just at 20 minutes, started a minute left in the fourth quarter. So obviously they've been, not surprisingly, been babying his minutes to some degree.
I know we hit on the unders on Bane and Brooks earlier. Did they end up getting there?
Brooks at 15 points. I don't know what the number was. It's probably around the number. So Bane is at 18 points. So both of them, Triple J 9 points, and not even foul trouble, just 2 fouls. 3 for 12 shooting. He's got the weirdest shot, doesn't he, Keith? So you watch Triple J shoot his 3. It's like, it's not. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's not. It's just an odd looking shot, but it works. Usually.
I saw up close last Monday.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
He does. He's a fun guy to watch shoot in warm-ups. He's got such a smooth looking stroke, but yeah, his shot in the game actually oddly looks a little bit different. What is Justin Fields doing? Why are you running backwards? He just lost 20 yards. But yeah, he's got a slow delivery. He's just such a long guy. But yeah, it takes him a while to get that up.
Oof, was that the first play of the second half?
No,
I'm just turning the game back.
No, Montgomery had a nice run.
Well, it's been going for a while. I just got distracted, I guess.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Like, I get right when you're in that moment and you have defenders running at you and you need to get some space. But I don't understand running directly backwards, There's just, like, even if you're, like, you need to do, like, a quick maneuver, right? Just, there's so many other choices then. Let's just add to the negative balance of our yardage here.
Yeah.
Murray does that move successfully, though. Kyler?
Yeah. Well, he goes around, right? Yeah.
He does that. He does that all the time. Like the kind of like the 360, whatever you want to call it, just kind of like circling back and buys himself some extra time. Obviously, Chicago's punting.
What's the penalty? What's the yardage penalty for intentional grounding?
10 yards and a loss of down.
And is it from the spot that you threw it, or is it from the line of scrimmage? Seems like it'd be from the line of scrimmage, right?
Think so.
Because then, I mean, I can think of like 9 times out of 10 where I would rather just take intentional grounding than run back 15 yards.
Makes sense.
Oh, weird. It's a risky place to field that one. Bears at plus 475 right now. I don't hate that. I mean, if they get a stop, get the ball back, score, which again seems like asking a lot from Bears offense.
Not a lot of movement.
Wait, it feels like they're down more than just 7. It's like doesn't feel like a 1 possession game.
But it really should. Like they fumbled on the 10-yard line, and then like there's a very real world where like the Vikings or the Bears could be winning this game. They just have, they just coughed it up. The Vikings really haven't done anything on offense outside of the second drive.
No. Yeah, Cousins is 9 for 16 with 60 yards passing, a touchdown. Cook's been basically shut down. Well, 10 for 44, which is fine, but nothing spectacular. I guess is Grant done for the day? Anybody named Grant? You're not playing the game. You're not on the show watching the game.
Not a night for Grant.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to end up getting on these Damian Jones props, which is kind of horrifying. Like there's not much data you can look at to like suggest this is definitely the right decision.
Sure.
This is more of a like this. A lot of times I can look at court IQ, project minutes, project who's going to be out there, and get a good idea of rates and what. But this is more of like Damian Jones. I have like his minute projection could be all over the map. Like there's a very real chance he plays like 8 minutes, in which case all these will be dead. But yeah, that game last night and the revenge factor and a blowout with Tristan Thompson being the starting center. I think there are enough things there that make me feel pretty confident. I'm actually going to try to look and see what we have him at currently. Yeah,
that's worth checking. And the projections, I don't know, I guess you can bake it a little bit of blowout stuff, right? But you don't necessarily assume it's going to be a blowout. Is that how that works?
When I bake that in, it's like, generally like a 13-point spread or something, I may take like a minute from like regular, so it's just not much. And even then, usually the team total's high enough to like where the rates are, kind of spiked a little bit to where like the end projection still ends up kind of being the same. Let's see what the Kings here. Of course, it's taking forever to load.
I'm surprised you're not watching the Sixers, or you have them on the screen somewhere.
I don't get NBA TV, and I refuse to pay for it. So I should probably just give that up and start doing it. We have League Pass. Shot. We have Damian Jones projected for about 10 points, 9.77, and 5.5 boards. So we have him over both his points and rebounding props on DraftKings, and I believe
how many minutes is that projection?
20, which is exactly pretty much what that's kind of where I thought he'd end up.
Well, you have like 28 for Thompson and 20 for Jones. Is that what it is basically?
I believe so. Yeah. Jones didn't actually get to that 20. Didn't get to 20 minutes last night, but the game was close the entire time, pretty much until the end.
Yeah.
These graphics.
Second and long here for Minnesota.
Graphics they use on these football games where it's just like some CGI person just standing there, just kind of shifting their weight back and forth. They're really weird. They're very strange animations, and usually the proportions are really off.
Is this one of the things you notice as like a I'm assuming you probably done some graphic design stuff, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, and anytime like a broadcast does something, I'm analyzing it. I'm like, what was the thinking behind that?
Yeah,
I mean, for a while they had those cartoons, like the drawings of star players, like they had a Mahomes, they had like a Kittle,
I think they still have. I think it's a Fox
they're probably
thing.
probably still using it.
Or they throw that graphic up.
They're probably still using it, yeah. But
I think it's just on Fox games.
If you look at it, like across the board, all of the players are just ripped. Like,
Yeah.
even when Tom Brady, like, gangly guy, they had him just like, he looked like Gronk. It was crazy. Being real generous with the drawings there. All right, I'm gonna build a fourth quarter flash or lineup for this game.
3rd and 17 for Minnesota on their own 15. They're giving up and just going to draw it. And I assume they're not going to get this. Good effort, but not going to get it.
I need KJ Osborne action in this third quarter for my flash draft.
Devin, your thought process reminds me, like I know we always before your time, but this is so when they had like the home run chase, or back when like the whole like chicks dig the long ball thing in the 90s for baseball during the whole steroids thing. ESPN, that's how they would advertise the sluggers. They would like give them all sorts of muscles. Maybe you remember this, Keach, I don't know. It might have been before your time as well. But like you could probably find the images somewhere. But like the Sammy Sosa and the Mark McGwire like graphics they would use. It's like, I mean, it's you look back on it now and they were essentially advertising steroids, like saying, yeah, these guys are all souped up and whatever, allegedly. Yeah, it's just that's the graphic I'm thinking of. And that would like literally chicks dig the long ball was like a campaign for like baseball and the.
I think I see the ones you're talking about.
You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just like
massive.
Yeah, and to be fair, they were more realistic than the Tom Brady ones.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
some of these images, I don't remember Mark McGwire having those guns, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean he was definitely. I mean, he was a big boy, and he had some strong arms, obviously. And Canseco, like look at Jose Canseco. I'm sure Canseco's got a picture. It's just like insane. A lot of those guys were just lots of muscles going on.
What was the reality TV show that Jose Canseco was on?
He was on The Surreal Life on VH1, and Flava Flav, I believe, was also there too. Maybe I'm confusing the seasons, but Gary Coleman of Different Strokes fame, Flava Flav was on it. The woman that played Rocky's wife in Rocky IV, Bridget Nielsen, who's also Rocky's Stallone's ex-wife, was on one of those.
Did you minor in reality TV? You're so ready to answer this, Dean.
I just know. Yeah, I just know nonsense.
You're like ready to tell me the like production designer and the
Dave Coulier from Full House was on one of those seasons. I don't know how I know. This is dumb information that's in my brain. It's so meaningless.
And you spend so much time on body parts.
Mini Me was in one of the seasons, and he got drunk and pissed in the corner. It was a big episode.
Oh wow.
By the way, the backup running back just broke off a big run. How did they get the ball back, Minnesota? What did I miss? Was there a penalty?
Unbelievably bad penalty call. It's that same thing that they called in that I think it was the Steelers game yesterday. They called a illegal block on a defensive player for basically trying to go through the lineman and make a tackle. He like went through him low, and apparently that's a penalty now, which I don't like. I never really saw that call before.
The penalties these days. Don't get me started.
Yeah,
was that the Tampa Bay New Orleans game where the defender got pushed into the quarterback? No, I think that was the Tennessee Pittsburgh game. It was like one of the Tennessee defenders got pushed as he was trying to get past the line of scrimmage and ended up falling forward because he was obviously falling and like just slid into Ben Roethlisberger's ankles. And they were like, "Well, that's roughing the passer." And you saw the replay and you could clearly see the guy behind him just lay into him.
Yeah, the roughing the passers are crazy.
Yeah, I'm all for protecting the quarterbacks, and obviously, I mean, there's enough guys injuries and enough COVID stuff. Like you need to have as many stars as possible, but they overdo it with some of the quarterback protection. It's pretty silly actually, but I get it. But at the same time, it's they've gone too far on it.
I've gone too far.
What is that from?
I can't remember. I think that's like some comedian. He's just doing like a Keanu Reeves bit. I think we've gone too far. I've gone too far.
Hey, I saw The Matrix.
Tell us about it.
We talked about it last week. Yeah. First of all, I think the most important thing to point out, it was made in 1999, like probably 98, whatever it was. It came up in 99, and it holds up incredibly well.
Yes.
For in 2021.
Please continue, Dean.
Really, really good for a movie that came out 22 years ago. I concede that when I'm wrong about something, I was wrong. I'm happy to take the L. I went in with an open mind. And
now,
I saw it like 15, 20 years ago, and I was like, yeah, it was fine. I don't remember it being like incredible, and I didn't totally get it. But yeah, I thought it was good.
Now, as Flores Mark in chat has replied to you on Twitter, next up is to rewatch Star Wars and then Rush Hour.
So I've seen Rush Hour at the same day. Like I saw Rush Hour forever ago, and I thought it was fine.
It was the
I
same
don't
day.
feel like I had to see that again. Star Wars I've seen before. I've seen the Star Wars movies. Well, at least the first 3, I guess. Well, however you want it. 4, 5, and 6.
The
See how I did
original
that?
trilogy.
Yeah. I got it. There's like 1, 2, and 3 came out, and then like 7, 8, 9. There's 9 in total, I think.
I think there may be more.
And there's
now.
like offshoots, like Solo or something like that.
Yeah.
But so I know that I'm aware of these things, but yeah, I'm not gonna watch the Star Wars movies, and I have yet to fire up the Mandalorian. Like that hasn't happened just yet, which I'm sure you're way into.
Oh yeah, no, I'm ready for the new season. And it's funny you mentioned you talking about the Matrix makes me want to like try to remember all the little nuggets from when I watched it. The like one of the opening scenes where Trinity's running on the rooftop and they have like the agents chasing her. And she's like, running through the dingy building trying to find the phone. You remember what I'm talking about, Dean?
Yeah.
The rooftop that they're on for that one shot where she's running away. If you like slow down and watch like the cityscape behind them, it's really just like a cardboard wall. There's no city behind them. It's very clearly just like a drape that they put literally right in front of the actors as they're running.
Yeah. It's just like one of those like
you never noticed it.
Is that a famous thing? Like one of those things that you just notice in post production, like somebody screwed up, or
no? I don't even know if it's a mess up. I feel like it's just one of those things where back in the day, and watching the movie, you would never realize like, oh, that's like an out of focus, photo of a city, a cityscape. But if you go back and look at it,
my friend pointed out to me on Twitter as well. Real life friend, like somebody I know in real life. I think he's a big fan of the movie as well. I know. I have a couple of those. So he said his biggest like issue with the movie, there's the red pill and the blue pill, and he's like his issue was like the red pill I think is associated with the Matrix, right? And he was saying that like what they should have done is they should have made the red pill green because
for the Matrix,
green is kind of the color of the Matrix. And I was like, I mean, it's an interesting choice, but I don't know why they went red versus blue, or they just picked it randomly, but. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting point, I guess. It's really nitpicky, but maybe it's a good point. I don't know.
Dean, Flores Mark in chat's dropping gifts reminding me of how good The Mandalorian is. You need to go watch it. Would
I actually like it, though?
Like, here's my thing, Dean. I have what I call the 10-minute rule, okay? Somebody tells me to go try something. I say, all right. And then I put it on, and I check back in 10 minutes after watching it. Am I enjoying it? If I am, I'll let it play through. If I get to 10 minutes in and I'm still not grabbed, all right.
Touchdown Jefferson. Is that Jefferson?
Another Jefferson?
No, wait, that's not Jefferson. Who is?
Please.
Oh, it's the cheapie. The cheapie scored. There it is. Love it. All I saw was the 1, and like I couldn't tell it was a 5 or an 8. We got this guy. I think he's in my main lineup.
I thought you were gonna tell me it was KJ Osborne for my flash draft.
No, it was Smith Marset.
Emir Smith-Marset.
Yes, of course, of the famed Smith Marsets.
The Smith Marset?
The Smith Marsets. Yeah, so good for him. He just scored a touchdown.
Well, Vikings are going away.
Jefferson was in the backfield.
Was he? I didn't see that.
He was the guy that opened him up pretty much. Because Jefferson like kind of ran up and then cut in, and like the guy that was on Smith Marset like took a step that way, and it was enough for corner of that end zone field.
Back there,
it's very hard to be that close to the end zone and that wide open in the end zone.
Yep.
It's like nobody within like 10 yards of them.
Only somebody named Smith Marset, right?
By the way, Devin, your 10-minute rule. First of all, I don't like your 10-minute rule. I think it's bad because sometimes it takes a while because you need something to blow up in the first 5. Like I like for a movie to unfold, and I like some character development. Like give it a second, let the movie let it breathe. I'll give you a chance. If somebody recommends me a movie, I'll give it a shot. I watched The Power of the Dog the other night, and like that's a slow movie, and it got there eventually, and there was a good enough payoff where I'm like, yeah, I was happy to watch that.
Sometimes a slow
movie
movie
be nominated for an Oscar, by the way.
Takes more time than 10 minutes, but the other side of it is you just never watch it, so you got to try it sometime, right?
Well, the other part of it is that last week on this very show, we recommended to watch Roadhouse, and You did not give Roadhouse 10 minutes.
I haven't even tried it. No.
Yeah, you were. So this 10-minute rule is nonsense. I think you selectively. It's a 0-minute rule. When I recommend something.
There's intention to it, right? I'm not just going to be like close my eyes and pick a movie and say let's go for 10 minutes. You know, it's going to be like, oh, somebody told me to watch this. All right, I'll check it out. I'll see what it looks like. You know.
But we've recommended many movies over the years, and like you never have said, you know what, I'm going to give this one the 10-minute rule.
How many have you recommended that I haven't seen though?
I don't know. I'm sure a lot. I'm sure there's some we've kind of run down. It's like, how have you not seen this? I mean, we'll be rehashing, I'm sure, but
I haven't put in my fourth quarter lineup yet. Who's my captain?
Well, Fields or Mooney?
Do we think the Bears are going to put up points?
Oh, Philadelphia came back and won. I don't know how they came back. Oh, Embiid put up 40 and 10.
Oof. They won?
40, 10, 4 blocks, 2 steals. He played over 40 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, with no Drummond, you're gonna need that. Yeah. That's a big win for them.
Bassey looked like he was a direct backup, which makes sense. He played 7 minutes and 46 seconds. DFS wise, Embiid put up 72 and a half DK points and counting, maybe, or is that what it is? 72 and a half. I think it's 72 and a half. Man,
so they had 4 starters play 40 minutes.
Even Danny Green.
Bible was the only one that didn't get there because he fouled out.
Danny Green had 5 stocks. That's how he gets there. I'm with 8, 4, and 3 and 5 stocks. Good Lord, what a good play!
Corner threes and a couple of those. Yeah, I mean that's all he's got to do. Charles Bassey was 4 fouls in 8 minutes. Is kind of a funny stat line. Miles
Green
Powell
2 for 8. Green, like you said, 2 for 8, all 8 3-pointers, and the 2 almost definitely they're in the corner. Like that's all he does. And that's good enough. Go ahead.
When he pulls up from anywhere that's not the corner, I immediately am like throwing my hands in the air because I know he's not going to make it. Like his shot, when somebody finds him for 3 in the corner and he's open, he's going to knock that down like 60% of the time. If he takes a 3 anywhere else on the floor, if he dribbles into one, he probably is shooting like 5% of them.
Keach, Alexander in chat wants to know who do we like in Spurs Clippers showdown?
Oof.
Well, I think we kind of touched on. I mean, a lot of the guys we like there, we'd like for showdown as well. I mean,
maybe
obviously,
I
think Zubac. I mean, I don't know if I wanted to get kind of crazy. I wouldn't hate the idea of either going Zubac or Podol in that top spot. DeJounte Murray, obviously.
Paul George probably low owned at being questionable all day. Yeah.
Let's run some optimals and see what the optimals are saying, and then see if there's anything we can do differently. I'm going to fire it up in a second. I'll run 50 optimals, going to max it at 100%. No, let's max it at like 95%. Just give us a little bit different shuffle.
If I'm looking for cheap guys, I think Ibaka obviously is in play. The Spurs backup center situation is weird. Jock Landale, I think, was the first big off the bench last night. We have him with the number, but that impacts Drew Eubanks. So Eubanks is really usually a very good per minute producer, but if he's only going to play like 8 minutes, I mean, that's not going to be enough. He played 4 last night and then played 8 and 7 in the games before that. So it looks like he's either fallen out of favor. Jock Landale played 11 minutes last night, about a fantasy point per minute. Jock Landale is an option if you're digging deep and want to make sure you're different. That's not the craziest thing. If Total gets into early foul trouble and they want to keep Big out there, you might be the guy now.
Most popular play on the optimals, Serge Ibaka, 94%.
Oh man,
yeah, he's just projected for 15.
It doesn't cost anything. He's 1,000. Yeah, we have projected for 15 points, and that's good enough.
Yeah, right.
As far as captain, it's kind of it's George at 32%, Murray at 16%, Pirtle at 16%, White at 10, Zubac at 10, Ibaka at 6. Like he probably gets you everything, I imagine. You probably get like the next best. Yeah, like if you put Ibaka in captain, you get the next like best 5 guys essentially. But obviously, you need a flat. You can't have anybody put up like 60 fantasy points. It's got to be flat. Pretty flat.
If there's a showdown for that other game and you don't have Damian Jones in 100% of your lineups, I don't know what you're doing.
It's already started. 1-0 Golden State, minute into the game.
Oh. Oh yeah, what am I doing? Duh. Oh wait, that's 10:30 or 10:30. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, my Damian Jones bets are in. That's curious to see how those go down. 4-0 Warriors out of the gate.
That means somebody has hit a 3 for Golden State. I'm gonna guess it was Steph Curry, but
4-0.
I guess it could have been.
Unless somebody shooting free throws.
Well, they had a 1. They had 1. Yeah, Lee had a 3. Chicago bench players. McKinney got there. White put up 24 plus points. Yeah, that the injury to Caruso really early opened that stuff up. Obviously, Memphis took the lead in OKC with 3 minutes left to go. Bain probably went over his points total. He's at 23. I assume that was higher than his points total. And Utah is up by 13 at the half. So Charlotte made a game out of it in the second quarter. The Bears are punting with 4 minutes to go in the third. Oh, boy. Oh, it's a good punt. Wait. Is that going to die in the 1? That was an amazing punt. That was the highlight of their day.
There was a
11-yard
commit catch before that.
I don't think did you play commit, Devin?
I have a little commit, yeah.
Yeah? I don't think I got there.
Only thing I'm doing well in currently is third quarter flash draft, but
hey, man, you got to keep firing, man. That's how that works, I suppose.
It's so funny how sometimes the whole night is just down. Fourth quarter flash draft, make enough to make it all even. It's fine. Nothing to worry about.
That's how that works sometimes.
It's like that's the argument I tell my wife is I have to play all the slates because I never know which one I'm going to be right on.
I'm sure that goes over well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's the end of it right then and there.
I still really want to know, like, how did Grant specifically know 15 minutes later whether or not he had food poisoning?
Yeah, we'll have to ask him.
I think there's one sign. I think there's definitely one sign that you don't assume it's food poisoning, but you can tell there's a certain rumbling. It's like, oh boy,
rumbling.
Something's going down here.
But it's the 15-minute clock you put on. Like, that's the thing. It's like maybe he got sick, and he's like, maybe 15. If I wait 15 minutes, if I get sick again, then I know something's up.
Maybe he knows his body really well.
I was going to say, if anybody knows their body clock, I got to imagine Grant is probably one of those people.
Yeah, that's true.
I love this that FanDuel does like the different levels of scoring for in their sports book, right? I think FanDuel's one of the only ones that does it. They just tweeted out. I saw it tweeted out. Embiid was plus 1401 to drop 40 plus points tonight. And like once you saw he was playing and once you saw it was against like Cantor, like how do you not smash that? And this is like me just tilting because I'm not in a state where I can legally gamble. And when it was at once upon a time, you had a tease here at Hard Rock and they didn't have any stuff like that. There's only one sports book, but man, I love that because like if you have one good play, one guy just absolutely gets there, you hit on every single level. Is that something, Devin, or either one of you guys, is that something you guys hit on, like in just play points 25 plus, 30 plus, 35 plus, 40 plus, just hit them all?
I have been since Grant's been talking about it.
Yeah. We saw the Drew Holiday as well.
So yeah, it was after our show. I remember I logged those bets in Action Network where I had Drew Holiday's point prop was 18.5. I had bet that at a full unit, then bet the over 20, which was plus 114, then bet the over plus 25, then bet the over plus 30. They didn't have an option to bet the over plus 35, unfortunately, because he did end up 40. But yeah, I love doing those things. I saw Grant doing a victory lap on Twitter after that. I wonder if he had because I remember we talked about that, I think, right or during our last show.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are, especially when like, with the COVID stuff and like when a guy like Holiday is like the only part of the big three out there with Giannis and Milton who account for so much of the offense. It's like, yeah, if they're going to play this game to be close and he's going to be involved throughout, like he's got a very real shot to not just go over the point prop, but go over it by a lot.
Well, it's this weird thing. Like historically, traditionally, like unders perform a little bit better than overs. Like that's traditionally people like to bet overs. Overs are more fun, yada yada. But this year specifically for player props, there's been so many situations that have been exploited. Like, because of all the guys getting scratched and all like the usage getting, shuffled to certain players, more minutes getting shuffled to the same guys, and they're playing up 35, 40 minutes as opposed to 32, 33. Like overs are now like sharper, at least, certain specific instances, obviously. But I think it's interesting as far as how that's changed with just the way how fluid lineups can be, I guess you can say. Have you noticed that as well, Keach, or is it something you've been taking advantage of?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say, I mean, I haven't seen any numbers, so maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if like overs in general are better bets, but I think if you're betting an over on a prop and you have the ability to like bet the escalator of it where you can, extend that out, and like, I mean, for Holiday it was like the prop was 18.5, we had him projected like 25. So it's, in that instance, like if we have him, I mean, 25 would be around even money. And it's like, if you can get 25 at plus 425, plus 375, whatever it was, I mean, that's just a massive edge to be had. So yeah, that's.
Well, I'm talking about the specific example of like, if it plays out where you see, we're getting guys scratched all the time. And then like, that's what you just, it's happened so many, it's the option to bet on guys for overs is better now than it's ever been. I guess it's kind of, not across the board, but specific examples, obviously. Yeah, like I think I hit one on like there's other. I mean, you can take advantage of it for even smaller, players who aren't as obviously, impactful as like Drew Holiday. Like I had an over for like Gary Harris to score 20 plus the night where like the Magic were very shorthanded, and it's like if he's going to be like one of the lead, distributors, like his point prop's 14.5 because he doesn't really score that much. But it's like when they don't have Cole Anthony, they don't have Suggs, they don't have like those regular guys. Like that has to fall somewhere. I think he did. I did it twice. The first time he definitely did. The second time I think he ended up on 17, which his prop was 13.5. So I still ended up doing well, just hitting his regular prop. But I had over 20, which didn't get there. Over 25, I think I had as well, like plus 2,000, didn't get there. But if you do that even somewhat regularly on props that you have, whatever projection source you're using, you have a notable edge on. Those plus money bets, like you hit one of those every 5-6 times that you're running that out there, like you're gonna end up up at the end of the day. I love the big plus money payouts on those.
I don't want to alarm either of you, but we have a guest in the waiting room.
Oh,
what?
It says
what?
It says iPhone has entered the waiting room.
Who is iPhone?
I'm a little nervous to accept them.
What is that? It's like that chat roulette. Is that
right. I'm a little nervous here.
Oh, it is Grant. Yeah. Okay. I would have been. I've been a little scared that it was some random person.
Surprise!
Oh, Grant.
Oh boy.
How you feeling, guy?
Oh, I feel a lot better than I did an hour and a half, 2 hours ago.
Do you feel lighter?
I most certainly am.
So take us through.
Yeah,
we were. Did they block that punt? They might have got a piece of it. The Bears got a piece of it apparently. So Grant, we were speculating. Like you said, hey, I may have food poisoning. I'll know in 15 minutes. Like, how do you? What are the telltale signs? How did you know? Like the 15 minutes was the number. Like this is what's gonna. Yeah, I'll know.
15 minutes was kind of a guess. Like I'm like, okay, I do not feel great. I've felt bad for short periods of time before, and I'm fine. And then all of a sudden, like, oh no, I feel terrible. And I look at my Apple Watch, and my heart rate's 140 just while I'm sitting on the toilet like an adult. I'm like, yeah, I'm out. And then the next 2 hours, I proceeded to get horrible chills, start vomiting uncontrollably. And now, you know what? I'm just really fatigued, but don't feel terrible.
You got all that Pizza Hut out of the way, right?
Yep.
No, the problem is I didn't eat Pizza Hut today.
That's the problem.
The problem was you didn't have pizza. That would ward off food poisoning.
Yeah. No.
What did you have? Do you think caused this?
In lieu of pizza.
Oh my gosh! I just realized that what I had was the place I ordered food from. I didn't even think about this because it was like too close after, because I had it like probably about 40 minutes before the show. But I'm like, man, there's something wrong with this sandwich. This meat was likely very old. So then I just took the steak off the sandwich. Didn't think anything of it until now, because it was like 30 minutes before, and you don't normally get food poisoning that quick. But it was clearly
That
bad
that
meat,
funny
in
smelling
my
meat that
opinion.
you had right
You
before
had
the show.
a steak sandwich? That's what you had?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Was it something you ordered from a restaurant, I guess, or something you made at home?
Yeah, one of my favorite restaurants.
Oh.
Look what they've done to my boy.
So do you
Yeah.
cross them out of the list? Is it a one strike and that's it? Or are you going to give them another chance in the next so many months? Like they go like in a penalty box?
I'll probably be back in a week. But I'm going to complain to Uber Eats that I got food poisoning. But honestly, that's all making sense. I also thought there might have been a gas leak in my house. I'm like, do I have gas poisoning?
There was a gas leak
Yeah,
somewhere.
I was gonna say. It turns out it was just you.
Yeah.
By the way, 4th and 1, the Bears goofed it up and did not get it, so that was unfortunate. Go ahead, Grant.
Oh, well, I just had so in Colorado, there's a ton of radon, like in a lot of people's houses. Like it just is what it is. It's not what you think. It like literally takes like 20 years of exposure and then you get lung cancer. But so you
Just
have to install radon.
tiny little bit of lung cancer.
That's not in the brochure. I went to check it out. I didn't see that. Is that in the fine print?
Well, so it's like they test all houses for radon fairly regularly, and if like our house was double the acceptable average, and so you just install a radon mitigator, which is just a fan that goes underneath the house and blows out the air because the radon steeps up from under the soil. It's fairly common, and so it lowers it down to like 4, which the acceptable level is 4. So I had that installed today. I'm like, what if like it smelled like rotten eggs downstairs, and I think that was just my dog. But like I went down there, I'm like, this smells terrible, and then all of a sudden, 10 minutes in the room, I'm like, oh, I feel terrible because it happened very suddenly. So, but I believe it was just the steak sandwich.
Was it just you? Like, did anybody else in the house happen to have the steak sandwich so that you can have a small, bigger sample size, or?
Nope. I'm all alone. I made my fiance come back home from an hour away to bring me body armor. Oh, she was coming back in the morning. She was all done up in Denver. Yeah, Jeff.
Man, she must like you. She left for an hour.
Well, she went up to Denver, which is an hour away, and she was up there all day, and she finished what she was doing up there and staying the night at her friend's place. I'm like, yeah, please come home. I can't, I couldn't walk for a good hour.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You take a shower of some sort, maybe?
I was freezing, the worst chills I've ever had, and I went and got in a bubble bath like an adult.
That's the move, though, when you
treat
feel
yourself,
like that.
yeah.
I've been sick like that with chills and stuff, and there's no better feeling than a hot shower, just laying in the hot water in bath. It's so nice.
Yeah, and then I got out. I got 2 blankets, and then curled up next to the dog and just was shivering for the next 40 minutes. And then things had finally started to subside after I vomited. I think it helped that I vomited everything out of me.
That'll
You've always bragged what a good vomiter you are. Did you hold to that? I know it's a funny sentence, but that's actually true. Grant has bragged to me. He's like, "Oh, I'm great at throwing up." He's got incredible aim.
This was
apparently,
the worst vomit I've ever had in my life.
Why does this stand alone?
I didn't know my stomach could hold that much actual food. I think my breakfast was still there.
God.
And
which was
there was no water in it, so it was just that chunky vomit.
This is what the people tune into at 9:30.
Yeah. Ratings are going up for sure.
What's the Discord talking about right now?
Hang on, let me send a quick show tweet. Grant's in here talking.
Yeah.
So are you still leaning toward the steak sandwich as the most likely culprit by far?
Either that or I have a gas leak. That's the 2 most likely candidates.
Seems problematic.
Yeah, I think if you have a gas leak, maybe a little bit more needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
it's more of a long-term issue. Yeah.
Well, I can't walk downstairs right now, so I just need my fiance to get here and be like, can you please go down to my office and see if it smells like rotten eggs, and then check to make sure the CO2 alarm is working.
Send her
that's it.
Send her down there.
Yeah. Well, no, if you go downstairs and you smell it, like I smelled it, I'm like, oh, the dog just ripped.
There's so many like dynamics to this story.
Yeah, no, it's been.
I thought for
wild
sure
ride.
this would be Taco
Sure.
Bell that got you or Pizza Hut that got you. Like it, that's the chalk. But apparently, it was the steak sandwich from the local place. But
Believe it or not,
Modern
Dean.
Market, it's supposed to be healthy. It's really high quality. But like, it gave me the thing. I'm like, this looks like meat that's been out for like, or that's like probably too old, and so they're like, we have to get rid of it. And they cooked it, and so they overcooked it. Anytime I get overcooked steak, my immediate thoughts are, oh, this was clearly going to go bad. And so that's what all restaurants do is like steak that's gone bad, they literally just cook it well done. Anytime never order a well done steak at a restaurant because they give you it's probably bad steak.
Good to note.
also,
I
just
won't.
never order a well done steak because like it's not as good as medium rare. Yeah.
I hear all of
cylinders.
this, every single thing I've heard since you hopped on the show, Grant, just makes me so happy I'm a vegetarian. Anytime, I see Tyson Chicken recalling 350,000 products because of salmonella poisoning, and all I think is, man, I love my vegetables.
Yeah.
Do you do like a victory lap or like a fist bump when you see that?
I
thing? You
do.
get
I
excited when
do
you
a
see
quick lap outside the house. Yeah.
Yeah, you have fun with your E. coli from unwashed vegetables.
Oh,
There's an easy to do step to get around that problem.
Yeah, that's what you think, except for when you go to Chipotle and get a vegetarian bowl and get E. coli.
What's funny is even in the like height of the E. coli scare from Chipotle, I would eat Chipotle and I still felt fine. I was like, nope.
Oh, I would eat it.
This
every
isn't going to
week.
be a
I'm like,
problem for me.
I'm supporting these guys. Like E. coli, it happens. Like, let's be honest, it happens. It can happen to any restaurant. Like, I'm not going to not go to a restaurant because of that.
I mean, if it's a large percentage of their franchises across the continental United States that are specifically dealing with E. coli breakouts, I might take a week off.
Well, it's generally like it's generally like regional. So if there's E. coli over in New York, I'm not really worried about it over in Colorado.
Hey Grant, I'm just now realizing you called me 13 minutes ago. Did you want me to like put it on speaker? You knew we were doing the show, right? Look.
Yeah, no, that was the reason why I called you.
I was supposed to put you on speakerphone, I guess.
I was planning on live betting this, so I threw 500 down on the Bears money line before the show. Really regretting that.
Yeah.
yeah, so am I.
They're playing how you feel, basically, Grant. It's not
Yeah.
It's not been good for
They've been in
Chicago.
it.
Their defense has been okay, to be fair, especially considering all the injuries they have.
Their offense has been
man.
great. I mean, their offense has been okay. Just fumbled a bunch of times. but
Halliburton has
That
3
too.
assists already.
Who does?
Halliburton.
What you bet over an assist for Halliburton?
Yeah, over 7.5, 10 plus, 12 plus, 14 plus.
Hey, Grant, did Green ever get that double-double?
No, he got in foul trouble and only played like 23 minutes.
Yeah, I was looking at the box score. I wasn't sure what had happened.
Oh, yeah.
Too
Wasn't
bad.
close. He put us
Yeah,
in 27 minutes, which is kind of surprising.
Well, he got in foul
What-
trouble.
Yeah. But guess what? He didn't foul out. They never do.
Well, he got in foul trouble, and then he didn't get any run and he didn't get much run the fourth quarter because they were up by like 15.
Oh boy, the Bears, they almost blocked the kick. They just missed it. That's been their best play all game is blocking kicks. And then the kick returner just flat out muffed it, and Minnesota recovered it. And this game just feels like it's over. 17-3, 15 minutes left to go. But
Who did
Yeah, I don't even know why you guys are still watching.
Just
We were
called
wait-
into
we
a
were waiting for
show.
you to
I don't even
join
know
us.
why they're still doing it.
So you're going on mute.
Oh man! So for my fourth quarter flash draft, or not flash draft, actual lineup, I changed my build. I had only put like the Chicago Bears kicker in there in an earlier build, just nothing but Minnesota players around it, and then I realized now I just changed the lineup before putting it in.
I mean, in theory, the Bears should not kick a field goal this game, like the rest of the game. But you never know what sort of coaching
You
decisions
never
they're gonna
know.
make. You shouldn't kick a field goal at this point, but yeah. That's where we're at.
Imagine being on the Bears defense right now, just getting stop after stop, and then just having to go right back out there after that.
Imagine being coached by Matt Nagy and realizing you have the worst coach in the NFL.
Yeah, he's awful.
Are we confident he's the worst coach in the NFL?
Name one worse.
I don't know. I'm just asking the question out loud.
It's probably
Urban Meyer was easy until a couple weeks ago.
Urban Meyer was his competition.
Yeah, he might be. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just sort of asking. I mean, Joe Judge for the Giants. I don't know.
I would.
The Lions guy. Who knows?
I don't think Dan Campbell's that
bad. It's not his fault.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad of him. Yeah, he literally has nothing around.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this.
A lot of hate, but
I'm looking at this Demir Bird replay where he dropped the ball on the punt return. Who was it that was there was a player that was talking about when he does punt returns and he says like a mantra to himself like I don't care if I die or something like that.
I don't know.
And there was a player, it was like a quote that came out. He was like, yeah, he was doing like a press conference or something and somebody asked him about punt returns and he's like, yeah, I just tell myself life is stupid. I'm going to die. This doesn't matter. That's like what he tells himself right before like, all right, let's get this ball and start running. Like
if he dies,
I think the best returners I can remember are Hester and Dante Hall. I feel like if somebody's getting interviewed about their returns, it had to be one of those guys.
I got to look it up. Let's see.
Is Hester a Hall of Famer? Is he in the Hall of Fame already? I know there was talk about him being a Hall of Famer. I think he's considered to be the greatest. Was it him or Hall? Which is the one that has most touchdowns?
I got the quote.
It's Hester, but he was awesome.
It was
so
let's see, when was it? October 7th, 2021, Naheem Hines on being a punt returner. Oh. Before I go back there, I say I don't care about my life every time. That's
whoever gets the job done.
You tell me a more thankless job than a punt returner. There is no way to do it right and not get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, they didn't have fair catches back in the day. Like, they used to have to stand there or just let the ball bounce. You know, there was fair catch wasn't a thing. Like in the 80s, even in the 90s, I think fair catch. When did a fair catch become a thing? Early 1990 or something like that?
It was my time, if I can use that paraphrase.
Yeah. So there was a time before you that they couldn't wave their hand.
Well, I remember when it swapped. I wasn't like super into it, but I remember when they made the field or the punt line move so that it basically is a touchback 90% of the time. And then I remember when they did the fair catch.
Well, that's the kickoffs. That's kickoff.
Or yeah, sorry, kickoff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about flat out punts. Like you couldn't fair catch the ball.
Yeah, I'm talking about two different plays.
Videos you can find, and guys are getting crushed. Are they going to attempt like a 55-yard field goal here? I assume they are, or punt it. That's like their only options. I guess you can go for it. They're probably not. It's a long field goal, but it would make it a 3-game possession. They're going for the field goal. This is a big deal.
I don't want that, to be honest. I don't want the Bears to get pinned. They have no chance of scoring. Hopefully he misses this and decent field position.
My goal tonight is to cash a tournament basketball with Caruso in my lineup, which I think I have a chance because I have a lot of Embiid. And I don't know how popular he was, but I think people lean to Luke. That's just my guess. Let's check into the ownership.
Did you get it done with Derrick Rose the other night? I feel like Mondays are your have good lineups, but one guy gets scratched.
I spotted it was like 50% owned for what it's worth, and Caruso was 61% owned, so I guess I got a chance. Embiid in a single entry tournament, the first one I pulled up was 16%, so I got a chance. You know, and Caruso is 61%. I won like an 80-person contest or something like that. Nothing crazy. I did make that work.
I got Danny Green at 5% in my single entries tonight.
What was this? They just you heard our conversation in the show. You said Danny Green, that's the guy I want.
That's the one. No, if I remember correctly,
after everything we said,
if I remember correctly, that was one of the last players, and it was coming up to lock, and I saw that it was a very, very cheap player for like 27 to 30 minutes, and I said, all right, let's just do it. Because I
played 40, by the way.
I can't tell you how. Andre tweeted about this the other day about how DK's updated their gameplay to allow you to late swap if you don't have a lineup in to games that haven't started right? And I know you all know what I'm talking about with this.
What does that mean?
If you reserve a lineup in DK and the contests start, you cannot fill that lineup with players from games that have not started yet. You're stuck with a blank lineup. But they recently just changed it so that if you do not have a lineup by the time the slate starts, as long as there are games that start later, you can still build a lineup. And
which is the smartest thing you can do.
Right, but I told Andre on Twitter, I was like, I'm embarrassed by how much this is going to help me.
Yeah.
How often does that happen for you?
I mean, it hasn't happened a lot, but the times that it has happened, it's never fun.
Oh, it's so tilting.
It's the worst. There goes the whole night. I spent, the last couple hours trying to figure out things that work. All that effort for nothing. Yeah. And I know the easy thing is to just say put a placeholder lineup in, but it's a process, right? It's a workflow. You get used to your
I'm
thing.
just too lazy.
Well, yeah, you get used to how you do things. And I wake up in the morning, I reserve some lineups.
Yeah, I mean, every single day I want to get those missions.
Right?
So
I'm not going to miss out on crowns. Like, come on.
Ray, is there a reason we don't see your camera? Are you like in a weird position? You're still kind of recovering?
Do you want to see my camera?
I don't know if we want to see.
I'm just asking. I don't know if there's a specific reason why.
Maybe I should turn the light on.
I had a feeling he'd be in a funny position.
I'm just glad we're not in the bathroom. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Are we certain he's not? That could be his bathroom for all we know.
Nope, that's a lamp.
All right.
That's a puppy. Look at the puppy in bed. Look at him. He's a sleepy puppy.
What's your puppy's name?
Dox.
Dox?
Dox.
Dax?
DOX. Short for doxology, which I believe was a dog in a John Steinbeck book.
What?
This is
did
the
your fiance
reference?
name this dog?
Yeah, she did.
Big Steinbeck fan?
How educated is this? that this is, she loves John Steinbeck, I guess?
She reads a lot. She is a nerd. Nerd.
You say to the woman on her way here to help you when you're in the middle of dealing with food poisoning. Let's hope she's not listening.
Since I graduated college, I've read like 500 books. I'm a little bit of a nerd, you could say. By the way,
that's what your dad does, though. Your dad, dad, he reads every single night, like 8 o'clock at night. That's his big event, right? Am I not mistaken about that?
No, he just reads constantly, like in between things.
I still remember that because he called me a nerd for some reason. I'm like, the audacity of you. Like, you're an accountant in the field of agriculture, and you read 8 o'clock at night and go to bed by 9. You're calling me a nerd. Like, it's insulting. Like, it's fine, whatever. But I just thought, like,
I love to hear the stakes that it has to be where Dean goes, hold up, don't call me a nerd. Like
who do you think you are?
9 times out of 10, Dean is just gonna go, yeah, all right, whatever. But it has to be that 1 out of 10 where he goes, hold up, pump the brakes. I'm not a nerd.
We all have our nerdy tendencies, I suppose.
Oki in chat saying, "Thank God he's just got a shirt on." So I think we're all pleasantly surprised by Grant's presentation there.
I mean, I wouldn't have a shirt on if I didn't have the chills and was shivering. Like, it felt like it was 20 degrees. I couldn't stop my shivering for a little bit.
That's the worst. We see in chat, Alex is saying, boys, I've been bumping and grinding and grabbed 18 NBA 2.25. I guess that on DK they have a Christmas special. I don't even know who's playing. Well, I imagine it's like the marquee teams like the Lakers and the Warriors are all playing on Christmas, but we have no clue who's playing. And I don't even know if I'm playing that contest because I'm pretty sure it's 2.25 and $1 million up top. And you guys know there's no chance I'm playing that. Like, I can't play the contest with 40% up top. Like, I can't do it. I'm playing other stuff.
He's pulling out the soapbox, everybody. He's pulling it out.
Yeah.
Grant, do you have any initial thoughts on the Christmas slate? Like, 5 days away. Let's just pull it up. I'm curious.
That's the thing. I do research every single day for basketball and fantasy basketball because obviously I'm researching player props. It's been the nicest thing this season that based on how terrible it's going to be, like I do 6 hours, 7 hours of basketball research every day. And by the time, like, 45 minutes before lock is when I decide I'm going to play. Half the days I'm like, no, just no.
I do 80 hours of research just the entire week. You don't hit the 80-hour week, Mark? Or
I had the 80-hour week every single week since football started, but I get the joke.
I do 80 hours of week every day, guys. Get on my level. I was just seeing the play where Fields like fake handed it to Herbert and then just immediately got tackled right before.
Yeah, that was the 4th down play.
That's ugly.
Bears offense starting to get moving a little bit here. I'm not jinxing them, but 3 nice completions in a row from Fields. That might be the first time all year that's ever happened.
It would only be a jinx if Dean said it.
It doesn't feel like Justin Fields is 16-19 passing in this game. That's for sure.
No.
Dean, your Jazz minus 11.5 is looking close.
What's it at right now?
8.
They're going to close strong, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I believe in you. I'm rooting for you, Dean. It may be the disorientation from the death going through my veins right now, but
did you wager on Utah at minus 11.5?
I did not.
It's a 9-point game now. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. By the way, Christmas Day, 5 games. I mean, it's awesome. 5 games, back to back, basically. Atlanta, New York, Boston. Oh, Trey back in the Garden. Yeah, I don't know if you guys probably didn't see this. You guys saw the clip of Trey for like a WWE when he was there in the Garden when wrestling was there. Did you guys something to catch that? He showed up and like did something heelish. Anybody have a clue what I'm talking about? Probably not.
Nope, not at all.
It was pretty cool though. Like he like did something like mischievous. He was a bad guy. Like in the Garden, they booed him like crazy.
Because he won a first round playoff series there. Are we serious?
They don't like him there. Yeah, the Garden doesn't.
He beat him in the first round. The Knicks are such losers. Their fans are losers. New York fans are in general losers. That's the biggest loser mentality of all time. I'm more allowed to hate Trae Young because he beat the Sixers, who should have went to the Eastern Conference Finals and potentially got to the finals. Knicks fans have no gripe.
Do you like Bing
Bong?
I'm
losing a lot of money on basketball. Oh, SGA got there. I'm losing a lot of money on basketball.
It wasn't a good night for you?
Oh, it's really. I guess it's not as bad as I originally thought. If Halliburton gets 12 assists, then I actually win a lot of money.
Well, what does he pay off at 12 assists? What's that? That's an adjusted line, I assume.
Plus 700. It's plus 700 for 12 assists, plus 255 for 10 assists, and plus 1,500 on 14 assists, which 14 is unlikely.
Golden State's playing 11 guys, not surprising. They're in the Chioza. Yeah, Curry's been pretty quiet because, again, there's a bunch of dudes. He's 4 for 11, 1 for 6 from 3. I guess that has something to do with this as well. Rested of Christmas, by the way, Boston, Milwaukee. I don't know who we'll have from Milwaukee. Golden State at Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix made on Christmas Day. Good for them. Brooklyn, Lakers. No Davis, who's going to be out for a month or so. Dallas at Utah. Utah, the closing game. Luka's still not playing. He's already been ruled out for tomorrow. I don't know how severe that is, but maybe he's back for Christmas.
I don't think so.
Oh. No.
By the way, I'm tempted every single day to bet on OKC hasn't had any COVID problems yet, right?
They're fully healthy, yes. They're just bad.
I can't remember if they had gone through COVID protocols or not, but one of these days, you're going to see 3 guys ruled out. So I'm almost tempted every single slate now to just bet the over on points on everyone.
On OKC, you're talking about?
Yeah, any day where I see a line Dort, his points numbers are a little. Every single OKC line that I see just a little bit off, it's probably a break-even line. Then I end up hitting the over, just in case they get COVID.
Fields threw a ball to Komet, I believe, in the end zone. It was batted down. We're at the 10-yard line. We got a chance. This has got to be 4-down territory. I can't imagine they kick a field goal here, but you never know. Yeah, that was intended for Komet.
Field goals.
Well, they're down 14 with 8 minutes to go. What is the point of a field goal right now?
Dean, 6 points is more than 3 points.
Yes.
It's like the same
This is true.
excuse to excuse the field goal in this situation could be used to excuse going for it.
Oh man.
3 points is more, or 6 points is more than 3 for the total, or 6 points is more than 3. Go for it.
Jimmy Graham just dropped a ball in his hands. It is going to be 4th down and goal.
Threw it to the wrong tight end.
Yeah, I think they were next to each other, actually. They're very close to each other. And
I played one lineup for tonight, and I put in just like a placeholder. I'm like, I'll edit it, and then all of a sudden, at 5 Eastern time, I look and like, or I get a notification of a touchdown. I'm like, what? That game started? Dang it. Check out my lineup. I'm like, wish I would have just reserved. I had like
should have been intercepted, by the way.
And Deshaun Jackson and Chubb got an interception.
No, it should have been intercepted, but it wasn't. 4th down, they're throwing to the end zone. It's caught, but I believe he's out of bounds. Pretty sure he's out of bounds. They're saying he's out of bounds. Mooney caught the ball, which would have been nice, but he may have got like 1 foot down, but definitely not 2. So turnover on downs. Unless he got a butt down, 1 cheek, he goes 2. No, not happening. No butt cheeks.
Got to get 2 cheeks.
All right. Well, my phone's about to die. I just thought I'd check in on you guys and let you know the story of my almost death from a steak sandwich.
I mean, why steak sandwiches in the rotation for you, Grant? Like that's one of the regulars?
That's my favorite sandwich.
Hey,
It's
Grant.
a great sandwich.
Grant, you should decide to leave your camera on or decide to leave your camera off.
Oh, I didn't know that my camera went off every time that I went over to check the score on a different app. I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Grant, you power rank sandwiches? You're saying steak sandwich is number 1 on your board?
Steak is it's actually probably 2, maybe 3. Pastrami sandwich is number 1, not close.
Pastrami on rye? That's the chalk, right?
Honestly, like it's probably pastrami, then prime rib dip, which I guess is technically a steak sandwich, and then steak, ciabatta, avocado, and onions.
Wait, what's the sandwich just built? Steak with avocado and onions?
Steak, avocado, onions, generally a chipotle mayo, or something. Generally provolone, toasted ciabatta. It's my go-to sandwich.
Grant, it's pronounced chipotle.
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 Keith, you have a sandwich power rankings?
I go
Philly
steak
guy?
sandwich number
Cheesesteak?
2. My favorite favorite sandwich is turkey and bacon on a nice bagel or a nice Devin Mitchell's.
I was just literally I was gonna say, you're talking about turkey, avocado, bacon. Have you had the Mitchell's one?
So I went to before I went to Memphis. That was the last stop we made in Nashville before we went down. Such a great thing to have in your stomach for a nice little car ride. Like it's just sits nice. Yeah, I'll go turkey and bacon, and then no avocado, by the way, and then I'll go steak sandwich.
That
avocado is
well.
the only
86
way I stay healthy. Avocado is literally the only way I stay not die.
That is a thin line, by the way. If that is the
for what it's worth, avocado was on your food poisoning meal, Grant.
Yeah, I don't think it was the avocado. It was definitely the steak. But like I in order to be a moderately healthy human being, I eat an avocado a day.
An entire avocado?
Yeah, every day.
That's all you got to do, ladies and gentlemen. Stay away from the strawberries and
You're
one
saying it's an
avocado.
avocado a day?
1 to 2 avocados a day, you'd be surprised at how good that is for you because it has
2 full
so
avocados?
Yeah.
What are you putting it on? Toast?
I'm generally putting on a steak sandwich, or honestly, the easiest thing is a smoothie. Like you throw an avocado or 2 in a smoothie with some raspberries, protein powder, chia seeds, almond butter, and right there you have like one of the most nutrient-dense meals you can have.
Hey, Keith, when you're in Memphis, you get that dry rub? The ribs?
Are they showing that this Mooney thing should have been a catch?
No, I mean, come on.
I think somebody was.
There's no way it's a
They're
catch.
showing his like whole
The
forearm
left
getting down on the
shin.
ground.
They're saying
I
Flores.
mean, I hope it is. Oh, is his elbow in? If the elbow's in, no, the elbow's not even close.
Flores Mark in chat saying they're saying it's left
they're saying
shin.
the knee? Are they saying
left
the knee's
shin?
good?
Yeah.
The knee.
Is the knee
Sorry,
good?
the knee. It looks like it is.
I mean,
the leg elbows.
this is the body parts.
Are they reviewing it?
I hope they get.
Fasa was touching.
It wasn't the
I hope
arm.
they-
It wasn't the arm knee. It was the leg elbow.
Where is the body bone?
Does Dean know what popliteal fossa is?
Why do you have to shame me? Like, oh, why don't you just wear a shirt
I
that says
told you before.
I'm smarter? What is it? What are you saying?
Because I told you before.
What's this body part you're saying?
It's the back of the knee, the popliteal fossa.
Oh no, I was asking for the term you were saying. I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Kielbasa.
You didn't
It's a
know it.
sausage.
You wouldn't remember that.
It sounds delicious.
I love how it sounds Italian. Oh yeah, nice little popliteal fossa.
They're not going to give it to him, are they? There's just no way. I hope they do, but I can't imagine they overturn this.
They're not gonna.
I mean, if
And
they're
it's
not,
because of that. I think they're saying he didn't have control of the ball through the catch, which is even dumber.
Oh,
if they're not going to overturn the Titans game where they had the like exact same scenario where it was a fumble, somebody was tackling him and it looked like his shin touched the ground before the ball came out, and they were still like, well, nah, he fumbled it. We're going to leave it.
All right, guys, I'm out of here. I need to go die and drink more water.
Go get some Pedialyte.
send me
Grant.
a picture in the morning and give me a proof of light, Grant.
Okay, sounds good, guys.
He wants crime scene photos, basically, Grant.
Yes. I'll send the text in the morning, or my morning. Make sure you're still
All
ticking.
right.
Bye,
All
Grant.
right, see you, kids.
Holler.
Yeah, I mean, we might be able to just kind of cap this at this point. I don't think.
Yeah,
Shut this bad boy down.
it's looking pretty dead, that's for sure.
It's looking pretty. Yeah.
I think we can
It's,
safely say the
Chicago
Vikings
would need-
won.
I think like Chicago needs a quick stop, and they just can't score points. There's no. I don't understand.
I'm shocked by that. I thought for sure they'd be able to get at least something on the board. This has been ugly.
Yeah, I mean, they should be winning this game. I still think.
Yeah, I thought for sure the Bears would have at least some sort of a lead going through it. Definitely
Too many
not
missed opportunities.
shut out minus a field goal.
Yeah, I mean they've had the ball inside the 10 2 or 3 times now.
And David
They
Montgomery,
have
I
4
thought for sure.
fumbles or 3 fumbles for the Bears.
3.
Maybe 3 fumbles and 1 interception.
Yeah, I think so.
No interceptions. They actually intercept the ball from Cousins. Like Cousins has 74 passing yards this game. 74. Jefferson with 3 catches for 34 yards. Man, just 22 carries for Cook for 75 yards. Like they've done nothing on offense. Terribly inefficient.
Yeah, let's consider the things we got right, the things we got wrong on today's game.
What did we get right?
Well, I think under on Kirk Cousins was probably a pretty sharp call. Seemed like that was pretty easy. I was going into this game thinking Cooks versus Jefferson felt like a pretty big hinge point for the night. Whether to play one or the other or both or neither,
Sure.
Looks like Montgomery, I thought he would have done at least a little more. I wonder how much that fumble played into it. But 18 rush attempts, that's a lot. Only 60 yards, though. That's a little surprising.
I mean, if you told me he was going to get 4 catches and 18 carries, I'd be all over it.
Right.
But he's just been terrible. Yeah.
And Jakeem Grant getting injured early on, that definitely threw a wrench in things.
Devin, if you wanna wrap it up, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and
I'm happy to stick around, whatever you want to do. But
let's go ahead and close out. It's kind of a weird week anyway, so we'll be back next week though. We'll be back to a somewhat normal, I guess maybe a little bit normal next week, and then much more normal after that.
I
Should
may
we
not
still
be
on
here next
vacation?
week.
Yeah.
You got to go
I
out.
may not be here. But I need to look at my travel plans. I might be flying back on Monday. If that's the case, I might be able to hop on. If I'm not flying back, then I won't be able to. I'm actually not sure. But yeah, I'll take a look and I'll message you and let you know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
4th down. Bears still alive.
Uh-oh.
Can't wait to see how they turn the ball over this time.
Let's watch the punt at least.
Yeah, let's
We'll
watch
see what
the
happens.
end of this drive. Let's watch the end of this drive.
All right, here we go.
Now watch this drive.
They've been getting close as far as blocking bunts. They got really like the tip one.
They got one.
They ran past it another time. I said this has been their best play of the game. Like their best. See, they almost got there again. Punt was kind of rough. Bears get the ball back with 6 minutes to go.
They had two guys on the gunner on the top of the screen too. I don't know. I mean, at this point, like you need to. There can't be two guys on a gunner. Like try to block the punt. The offense can't do anything.
By the way, Buddy Hield Chalk is just dying. He's 0 for 5, no points, 3 turnovers. He's played 18 plus minutes. Still out there in the first half.
If you tailed my Damian Jones pets the points, he still has 0. He does. He only needs 2 more rebounds to hit the over on that though, and both were plus money. So if you bet both of them, you should end up at the end of the night. But I think we still may see some ugly Damian Jones minutes toward the end there. So
I mean, 18 minutes for Hield, and he's at 575 on DK. I'm feeling pretty good about that potential Hield fade.
It's a great call.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. We talked about it. Like he's gotta score points.
I wish I had done that on my full classic slate.
He's got 4. I like when you call it classic. He's got 4 turnovers too. Like he's just been horrendous out there.
Yeah.
4 turnovers, 0 for 5. He's a negative 17.
Well, you know, if we're really trying to put some logic behind the play, the DVA matchup for him was not good, if I remember correctly.
I did not. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess all matchups against the Warriors are not good. But the other part of it is that that's kind of deceptive, kind of just because Wiggins.
Well, and there's circumstances,
right?
There's circumstances for every one of them, but you know, you have to try to like. That's my thing. Is like I may not be an expert at all this, right? But like going in, I try to like understand what am I making a call on, and try to understand are those good calls? Do they work out? Is there logic behind it? Can I explain it? You know, and it's funny doing shows like this. I remember when I was hopping on with Crunch Time back in the day and doing like question and answer, literally just like talking it out to people. You know, you really kind of iron out details. You kind of figure out, even if it's bouncing ideas or just like being forced to vocalize your thoughts, that helps you kind of put things into a perspective.
No, you remember we were talking about Gobert going 2020 today against this Hornets team? Gobert was 6 minutes to go at 22 and 19.
Whew.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's nobody in that Charlotte team that can hold him down. It's just, there's nobody.
They just can't rebound. Yeah.
No. You knew he would just dominate the paint here.
Yeah, I've bet against the Hornets a few times recently. Just like I bet them, they played the Magic. I think they ended up winning. But I bet them just teams where I'm like, they're gonna get killed on the glass. Like if this other team just has like a decent shooting night, they should have a big advantage. Yeah, I like playing big teams against the Hornets. It's a good strategy, I think.
We're watching this drive here for the Bears. Oh, there's a drop pass right out the gate. Yeah.
Are we watching the drive? I mean, they're not.
I don't know.
You gotta believe in something, Keach.
What does the winning lineup look like?
I have a Bears
right
plus 7 ticket, so like a touchdown here would be at least push
right.
that. Oh wait, they would Matt Nagy would go for 2.
They're not going for 2. Don't. There's no way.
It's funny you say that. Darelvis in chat says, "I think this is Bizarro week, and Nagy goes for 2 when they score here. Then I'll have seen it all."
I mean, he should. That's not bizarre at all. That's what he should do.
That's so funny.
You're supposed to, but like you know.
But will Nagy do it?
No.
Like, he's the person who should do it the most. Like if you're a team where you can get it to a 6-point game into where you could potentially win with a touchdown, you can't play to tie, like scoring twice and then hoping you will once again get it in overtime. Like that's too crazy for a team that can't score points again. You have to go for it.
Fields just got loose for a big run. I think I bet the over on his rushing yards. That might have just did it. He's at...
That was a 23-yard gain right there. That has to be the line, right?
41.
He's at 39 for the game. I think I had him over on Prize Picks.
What was the line?
I think it was like the mid low 30s. So I think that did it. Never in doubt, by the way. Let's see what I don't remember what I paired it with. Oh yeah, 34.5. So yeah, that did it.
Well, you got some nice closing line value there, do you know?
Yeah, but I paired it with Jefferson over 91.5 yards, and that's not going to happen.
Where is he
that's
at?
A bummer. Jefferson
Yeah.
at 34. Kirk Cousins doesn't even have 92 passing yards. Mooney just got a pass. Here we go. Cousins, I think, is like 74 passing yards.
I mean, talk about a showdown slate where a quarterback can go under, his number one receiver can go over, and the RB1 on the team can still go under.
And they win.
And they won
they're also in the optimal.
comfy margins.
Cousins is in the optimal for sure. Jefferson probably just because of raw points. Where else are you spending? Yeah, Jefferson scored a touchdown, so he's in. I haven't pulled it up right now, but I'm sure he's in.
It's pretty amazing. It's amazing the power of clarity given to the opposing team when a wide receiver catches the ball near the sidelines near them.
Yeah,
they are just given such clairvoyance. Like, don't even look at it, ref. We can tell you they were out. They were out. There's no chance. It is not in. Don't even look.
You've never seen a guy like on this. Oh, it's a catch. Just
he got
never
it.
Goes the other way.
We'll give it to him. We'll give it to him.
They only help him one way for some reason.
That's so
Yeah,
good.
it's odd. I feel like sometimes the officials do get they get a little skewed by that sometimes.
Probably, yeah. Even subconsciously, it probably happens.
I feel like just reactions of players. Like, I feel like watching the NBA, like where balls go out of bounds on guys. It's like I feel like if you react the right way, sometimes as a player, the officials sometimes just can't see things. Like that's as big of a thing. Like, that's something. If I was coaching, I'd be like, you have to react this way when things happen. I mean, I guess people would get wise to it after a while, but
if I was refereeing, I would say, yeah, I would look at body language. If I need a tiebreaker, like who's acting as if they touched it last is that would be my.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love that you just brought this up, Dean, because I'm reminded of a play. I think it was last week, actually, not this most recent one, but there was a player who tried to catch the ball, and it was one of those things where, like, once you look at the replay, it's obvious, like, clearly, immediately obvious. He did not catch it. The ball like bounced off the ground, but regardless, the rest of the team is around this guy saying, no, he caught it. And you just kind of see that one player in the background kind of walking away from the play. Like, I'm not going to tell them I didn't catch that. I'm going to let them fight about it.
Mooney was so close to him, just not the best pass, but he was open. He had a shot there for a touchdown. 4th and 4. This is the game for all intents and purposes. Yeah.
See, no spoilers.
Yeah, let it play out.
I won't spoil it.
Yeah, I've been a second behind you this whole game.
Well, you should have told me.
Captain Spoils over here, Dean.
I didn't know. Remember last week I was behind everybody, so.
Yeah, it's always different.
What we need to do is I need to set up a stream that all of us can just watch my stream, and we're all on the same feed.
We figured this out with like 1 week left.
Yeah, right. And we'll all just be collectively 3 minutes behind the actual live feed, so everybody that's watching knows what happens before we do.
And the Jazz are now only up by 3. How in the world did this happen? We lost the Jazz bet too, probably.
I think I took the Charlotte spread on that, actually, so I feel pretty good about that. When it was like 20 and a half points, I think, was the spread.
Oh, you did it live?
Yeah, it was a live bet.
Yeah. I would have definitely done that to hedge the other side, but yeah, because they were up by 22 at least.
I mean, yeah, the spread was 12 and a half, and it went up to 20 and a half. I thought, all right, well, if they're going to keep it close, this is going to be the top of it.
So you saw the play, I assume, Keach?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's like in the NFL, that's as easy as it gets, throwing and catching. It's a quick 5-yard out, nothing to it. It should be like something you do in your sleep, and the Bears can't get that. It's like that. They're so bad.
I mean, that's the whole night. The whole night is just plays that we thought they could easily do, and they didn't.
I mean, like, that's like an easy play for a college team. Like, they're pretty much giving them that. Like, there was,
how much
man-to-man right there.
The Minnesota defense versus Green Bay defense.
Well, no.
I feel like
better.
I feel like Minnesota is slightly better, right? Maybe just like a hair.
A better defense, but like I'm pretty sure Green Bay's got a better defense. And also, this Minnesota defense is I think they're missing some pieces. I could be wrong because I'm just hard keeping track of everything. Who's in and who's out. I didn't do content tonight for Showdown, so.
I just remember seeing the numbers on this and thinking, that the opportunity was probably similar to, Baltimore against Green Bay, but definitely not the same outcome.
All right, fellas.
Well-
I think that'll do it.
Yeah, just in time for
You
Dean's.
gotta get to sleep, man.
Just in
You gotta
time
go
for
to the airport.
Dean's internet to start freezing up on us.
Is my internet frozen? You guys can't hear me?
You glitching.
Can't see me?
You're glitching a little bit.
Well, there you go. We only had so much time, but Keach, enjoy your trip to Philly. Enjoy your
Thank you, man. I
vacation.
appreciate it.
Hit that like button. If anybody's still with us on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that stuff. Thanks for partaking, hanging out with us in the RotoGrinders Discord chat, rotogrinders.com/Discord. You go to the live stream chat. That's where we are daily as well. That is a free channel. You don't need to be paying for premium to have that. Haven't got anything else for the road?
Let's see. We will be back. Maybe not next week, but maybe the week after that, after the holidays. I think we'll be doing. We're going back to Mondays. No more Thursday night showdowns. You both.
Jefferson with a catch for a first down. By the way.
could
I was hoping he could.
I can clearly see you're both watching a play.
Yeah. Because I wanted to get Jefferson somehow to get loose. Chicago over pursuing or something like that, trying to make a big play, down 2 touchdowns, and that did not happen, unfortunately.
But it's the Bears.
There's still hope, I guess. Not really. For Devin, for Keach, for Grant, for steak sandwiches, for
Gross.
Pizza Hut. That was football. I was Dean. This was RotoGrinders. Watching a play. Nothing eventful happened. We're out of here. Holler.